This is my best unmodded park build ever, from start to finish in less than 4 hours. Welcome to the supercut of Mini Nublar in Jurassic World Evolution 2. Mini Nublar is the most popular building series on my channel, but it's also long. In total over 8 hours. So that playlist can be a little daunting if you are new to the channel, as so many of you are, but you want to check out this epic build. For this supercut, I've cut down each episode to half the length, so you can watch the entire park build in half the time, but still get all the building inspiration. Let's go back in time to the very beginning. The first step was to make a grid on the map, which in and of itself took half an hour, so I actually saved that as a separate file to be able to reuse it for future builds, because a grid is super handy for recreating any island shape. The grid turned out 19 by 19 squares, so I laid an exact same grid over my reference image. The reference image will be controversial, because people don't actually agree on what Nublar is supposed to look like. Nublar is a shapeshifter. There are many different interpretations of what the island looks like. I personally went with this reference image because I consider it most faithful to the most recent canon. Specifically, we see an island overview several times over the course of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. While none of these screenshots were suitable as a one-on-one reference due to the quality and the angle of the image, we can see two very characteristic things about Nublar here. The first being the very sharp, curved southern tip of the island, and the second being the lagoon in the southeast. Now, of course, that was all retconned, but again, it is the most faithful, most recent canon that I'm personally going with. So yeah, because this reference image matches those characteristics, I went with this one. If you are going to build your own Mini Nublar, pick whatever reference image you think is best or is gonna give you the most fun build. So with the grid in-game and on your reference image, it's just a matter of drawing the island one square at a time. This is a drawing technique that we learned in high school. It just makes it so much easier to copy an exact shape. And I've used it before to create my T-Rex and Spino islands. I had already flooded the squares that were completely in the ocean, and I used a high contrast terrain brush for drawing the coastline. I didn't use the water brush right away for creating the coastline because the path obstructs the placement of water. When I finish the shape, I can delete the grid, and then I bring the water all the way up to the line that I drew. And after about 50 minutes of work, this was the result. Alright, so our Mini Nublar is ready for building, and it's only right that in this first episode we build the arrival section of the park as well as the first dinosaur that our guests are going to see. I thought about doing like a harbor or something like that, but honestly, we've done that several times at this point. So I think we're gonna go with the classic arrival helipad right there, and what I also want to do, I've given this a tiny amount of thought, like minimal amount of thought, and that is using the visitor center as kind of like an arrival slash welcome building, which obviously is also the function that it had in the original movie. The building, let's say it's gonna have an entrance and an exit. So we're gonna get the fence as close as possible, and then I'm just gonna curve it behind here. And yeah, now it's separated, so guess what? Logically they would go through the front door, but they're gonna take the side door, and then they exit over here into the park. And what we're gonna do in terms of the dinosaur is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, I don't usually start with like a big ticket dinosaur. Typically I wanna, you know, build up the level of hype for the species. So you start small and then eventually you have like the big ticket animals, but really what I want for this park build is for it to be different than what I usually do. So I'm gonna try some different things for this time around. There's like a little bit of a gap, we want to fill that in, and this fluffy bush is just amazing for that. There, see, so now you can't look through there. But it's you don't have to like machete your way through the branches of this bush to get your way into the park. I need to figure out what to do with this ugly section around the building. I'll do it like that. I think this would be cool. There. On the other side. We could even, like, sort of fake that the path actually does lead up to the front door, as would make sense. By doing a little bit of that. There, now there's like a little sandy path that actually leads up to the stairs. Here, see, now when you're looking at it from like a more guest-appropriate angle, you don't really see this dirt line in between the building and the path. So that's totally cool. And we're just gonna use this like weird shape because one of the challenges for this park build is going to be that we will not be changing the shape of the island, obviously, because it has to remain the shape of Isla Nublar, right? I spent 50 minutes trying to get it as close as possible to that reference image, so I don't want to be messing with that. So we're gonna keep the shape of the island and challenge ourselves to build around it. So what I think we should do, and I'll use the Malta wall pieces for that. Here, so just hover them over here to sort of get like the angle right. I think that's pretty good. Here, how about like that? And that's a little much, isn't it? We'll use the crumbling one. It's not ideal. You don't want your entry section to be crumbling. That's not the right impression that you want your guests to have. Like, yeah, we don't put too much effort in maintaining our fence work. It just sort of crumbles away. That wouldn't give me a very positive feeling. Yeah, you can't really see that the trees are growing on the path. That's fine. I want to try to go for like a pretty high level of detail. Oh, that might be cool. I think that's pretty nice. And then what you could make the most of is just putting some tables over here. Here, 1, 2, 3. There you go. You don't really, like, we don't need any amenities out here or anything like that. So really, maybe people just want to sit here if the helicopter ride made them a little bit queasy, you know, stuff like that. I might have to cheat a little bit. And I'll explain what I mean. See, I can't use these right now. Now, I could use these, but that's a bit much. So, what you do... I still have my outline, and that's why it's important that I keep my outline that I created. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna momentarily change the coastline, just so I can place those wall pieces in. So there you go, we've just leveled the terrain. Now I can go back in, grab these. And also, it's not just laziness that I don't use these, but we have to think ahead, right? If we use these, that's gonna be a lot of individual pieces. Literally, this one is like the width of 5 of those other concrete barriers, so it's gonna save us so many decorations. You do want to like take some measures to preserve a little bit of frame rate. And yeah, this is gonna be just a nice little planted section. Fluffy bush to the rescue. Really? I would have been happy if just the fluffy bush was available on all maps. It is such an important bit of foliage to have. I'm also like purposefully like leaving blank space because we're gonna add rocks and stuff. Oh, what I also typically prefer to do, and I am gonna do it here. Oh god, that's the wrong thing. I prefer to not have the grassy look in my gardens. I prefer to make the gardens like have them have soil. Let's grab some rocks. The rocks are not over here. The rocks are here. That's not confusing at all. So we're just lining this little garden with rocks. And we'll bring in a couple of bigger ones here like that. Look, I saw you turn blue, so you might as well, okay? You might as well. I saw it. There you go. Alright, that's pretty nice. I like the weird shape of it. I think that's kind of fun. And again, we're gonna pretend that guests can go through the front door, but we had to keep the side door, like, available as well. So we're now gonna move over to this side, because time is of the essence here. Let's just actually grab the bush. You know which bush I mean. Come to me, my love. Bushes haven't been appreciated this much since the 80s, honestly. And usually when I try to figure stuff out, I just like... Oh, hold on, I need to clean up my my coastline again. God damn it. No! 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 Well, it is what it is. What was I saying? Oh, right. When I want to plan out stuff, I grab a terrain brush. And you can just draw a little bit, right? So there's a couple of stuff that we need to have back here. I do want to have the start of a tour, which is going to be transport that takes our guests through the park. I want some amenities, and I want the T-Rex habitat, right? Because it's the mascot. It sort of welcomes the people into the park. I think I just want to have the path just follow the curve of this wall over here. I think a bit of path should go over here, and then over here we'd have like some amenities. Like maybe like a shop, restaurant, and a toilet in that little space over there. Then this is gonna be... It's becoming less and less clear, I know. This would be the habitat. Here, this would be more path with an amenity like that. And then maybe sort of like that. And then the tour would start maybe over here. And this is where we're gonna be producing our dinosaurs. There, this way I'm just not wasting any space on the island, because even though it is quite a sizable island, obviously it's not as big as the whole map would typically allow, just because of the shape of it. So I don't want to waste too much space in this, in the park itself. Even though that is usually one of my main tips, waste space. Not this time. No. Here, we're gonna do 2 amenity buildings like that. So we'll do drink and food. I did it in reverse. I did food and drink. As always, I hide the back of the building because it's ugly. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. So what I want to do is create like a photo op, right? But can we fake it in a, like maybe more like that? I know this is a flashbang kind of thing. Oh, it says heat detector now. Didn't it use, oh no, this is the flashbang. This is the, okay, this is the heat detector. There you go. But this kind of looks like a camera on a tripod, right? I think it might be better than that one. Obviously, we also have an actual camera. But this one has the same problem as this one. It's too tall. Because the camera op would be like a little bit of an attraction, right? So let's start over here. I'm gonna do something that I usually do. Create like a little bit more heft. And then guests will be able to come into here. We'll do it 2 deep. 1. And a little bit of invisible fencing. So the Rex would get lured over with food. Guests would stand right here, and as the Rex is eating, it would be a little photo op moment. So there would be like an employee of the park would be over here operating the camera, taking your picture, you know, smile. Something like that. I think that's kind of cute. That just fits too well to not use that, so we're gonna use that. I'm gonna use this, because otherwise, you know, people would just walk over the invisible fence. Otherwise, they totally would. You know, they would. Trying to get it like there you go. There, and then this sort of points literally to where they should stand. It needs something nearby for like the staff, I don't know, for some equipment, stuff like that. And I just feel like the other sheds are too utilitarian. Like, this is not guest appropriate. So even though, yeah, that it probably has a bathroom sign on it, it does indeed, but we're gonna have to go with that. It is what it is, folks. Compromises must be made. Yeah, little security tower where they keep an eye on people. I feel like that would make sense. You would want to have like a good perch where you can make sure that guests don't misbehave. That is cute. And you would have obviously a flag to sort of let people know that there's an attraction here. I'm excited about this. This is fun. This is cute. Here, this one has like the biggest T-Rex face on it. Ooh, hold on. No, this one. Duh. Hey, a little T-Rex photo op. And logically, this would have a little bit of a queue. Do I put too much thought into things? I probably do. Do I mind? No. You know what? No, it should have a tower at the end. There, that, yes. The terrain constraints are killing me. It's killing me. Oh, how far do I need to go? How far do I need to go? Oh, okay. Just do a little, I don't know, a little shop. We'll do a little shop. There you go. Get plenty of dirt onto the lower area. Maybe like dry it up a little bit with like a super light touch, like that. I'm not the biggest fan of the rock textures on this map. Make it look less, like the grass is so green on this map. I think this looks much more natural. I just always feel that a park looks way better and way more realistic when you don't give your guests the opportunity to even like touch the fencing. Because you know they would. They would totally, they would. Especially dads. I don't know, I feel like there's something dads. Kids and dads. For the habitat, I think I want to go for the sort of redwood type of look and feel.
A few minutes later.
I think that looks pretty good. I think this is a pretty good start of our mini Nublar. We have our mascot right here. I think I need to add a couple more signs, a little bit more details. I picked a name suggestion from the comments on the community post at random, so the park mascot is named Papaya. This name was suggested by Paldia. And I also asked you guys for input on the amenity buildings, and Timeless had a really cool suggestion, which is to model the shops after like actual brand chain restaurant kind of things. So this is modeled after McDonald's and this is modeled after Starbucks. And we're not going to do that for every single building because I feel like it might get too colorful. So the base buildings that are like owned by the theme park itself are just going to be white. So that's what we did. What we're going to do is we're going to build a long stretching habitat over here where people are gonna see Brachiosaurus and Parasaurolophus, and it's gonna start with the tour, and that tour is also gonna take them to the next guest section, which is gonna be over here. So I'm gonna whip out my trusty stab brush. So let's say that, you know, they'd land over here. I say land, but like arrive. So this would be tour building like that, and then over here maybe, you know, like that. And then all of this is just gonna be a huge exhibit that they're gonna drive through and have an awesome experience. Oh, I added a little detail over here that I didn't include in the episode, but what I thought was cute is that, you know, as guests exit the helicopter and they go through all of here, obviously they're gonna have luggage with them if they're gonna stay in a hotel. So the luggage actually gets loaded onto these jeeps and gets taken to the tour vehicle where, you know, they chuck it into the trunk of the car and go along like that. So it actually goes to the destination, to where the hotels are. That was a lot of talking. Now let's get to building. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. I'm making this quite a bit bigger. I think we're gonna do it like that. Oh. And I'll switch over to this, because I really want to keep it separate, because, you know, this is where staff is going to be just driving the Jeep, shuttling the luggage back and forth, so we don't want any foot traffic to get in the way of that, because that's just a lawsuit waiting to happen. And I feel like a park like this would already be plenty prone to lawsuits anyway, without us helping it along and, you know, driving vehicles at top speed into crowded park areas. Now, someone also suggested that I should use the Jurassic Park gate. If I understand the comment correctly, they suggested I put it onto this wall, but I don't really think that's gonna work unless I like majorly remodel that area, because The gates have quite a sizable hitbox on them. But what we could do is incorporate it over here. I should probably go with Jurassic World theming. Having acknowledged that though, I don't want to. We're gonna go with Jurassic Park theming. Now the downside here, you can see how far away it needs to be from the path. The downside of this is obviously that guests aren't able to go through it. I do like using it like that, but I think to give people, you know, the experience of actually going through the gate, we're also gonna put the gate on the tour track itself, you know, when they get closer to the end destination there. Now, let me figure out where to put the actual tour building, where to start that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and place it like that. Okay, so I would imagine that like a small queue is gonna form over here, right? So we're gonna use these because they don't take up a lot of space. I might actually replace these with a nicer planter as well. You know, we're trying to go for like a luxury feel. So I think that's good here, and they zigzag through. I think that'll work. Okay, and I think this would also be a cool place to put this guy. Because, you know, this is all about building the hype for the rest of the park, right? And obviously we're gonna have a Spinosaurus. Obviously. We're probably gonna go with like quintessential, super popular Jurassic franchise species and, you know, supplement that as needed. Yeah, I like that. So we still have a big tree in there, but it doesn't actually obstruct the view of the gate. I have this like compulsory need to fill almost everything, like to line almost every bit of path with something. It just feels so naked otherwise. This tree has quite a sizable hitbox. Like, he has a hitbox he can brag about to the other trees, you know? Like, look at the size of my hitbox. And the other trees are all gonna be like, well, size doesn't matter, and he's gonna be like, well, yeah, you would say that, you know? And then in front of it, I always forget where the fountains are. They're over here. I think it begs for like the genome spiral thing. And we have like this ridge on top. I feel like that would be a really cool place for a bit of an overlook. So we're probably gonna do like a tower over there, so you look into this habitat as well. And there should just be an epic moment where the gate just shines, you know? This is not where the gate is. Where's the gate? I could do it at the start, but then it feels a little too much. So no, it needs to be at the end. It would go through the gate. Yeah. What could you put behind the gate? If we place it forward a little bit, we do a nice big lake behind it. And that'll more or less guarantee that the dinosaurs are gonna come over here. Meaning that there's gonna be like a big chance that when you drive through here, you're gonna see some dinosaurs. Obviously, you're already gonna be seeing dinosaurs here, right? Is it thematically wrong to have it that late? Okay, I feel like I need to maybe explain my thinking here. So this area is like the welcome area. This is the appetizer, you know? And this as well this is all appetizer to get your appetite going. And then once you go through here, that's when you actually like enter the park. That's my thinking there. I'm gonna stick with it, even though it maybe feels a little weird. All right, so I think it'll be cool to have a bit of a coastline tour, and then it should just be like a long straight route towards the gate. Yeah, so you can see it coming. The excitement builds, the gate opens.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
We're not gonna close it off fully. It's literally just all gonna be one exhibit. Ah, the tour is going. I'm gonna put this one on top. And that's just gonna give a cool view of all of that. Now this looks obviously totally bonkers, just in the middle of nowhere, but we're gonna hide that with foliage and stuff like that, so you don't actually realize that it's literally just a useless bit of fence. Okay, so the first thing we want to focus on is make that view pretty. So what I want to do is I want to hide the building. I'm gonna do that with the help of my trusty fluffy bush. Alright, that's pretty decent. I actually really like that, you know, if you're coming through, you're gonna see the previous vehicles around the lake. So, you know, at times you'll see a dinosaur popping out, but then this is gonna be like a bigger open moment. There, and then that's just like a totally forested route. I want to make sure that they're not gonna see the gate yet, though. It's a shame that you do still see... I think I should lower the frequency of the vehicles. Because when you round this corner, you don't want the doors to still be open. You want the doors to open for you. So let's see if that works out now. I think what would also be cool if we take a little moment over here for some torches. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I really love this. This is the best tree. There, I said it. It's the best tree. There, because it has this beautiful overhang. So good. Would it be cool to have like a pretend abandoned thing here? No, I don't think so. No, it shouldn't be scary. It should be focused on like a magical experience. But I do think that it would be cool to do something like that in another exhibit. We're gonna do the 1993 skin. Just remember that this park is not supposed to be a recreation of anything, but we're obviously going to be taking inspiration from the movies for certain elements of it. That's nice. Look. Well, that's... but this is nice. Yeah, that's nice. I was struggling a little bit to figure out what I wanted to do here. Not gonna lie, because I was a little tired last week. But many people, something like 5, suggested that I make this the hotel area. And these people know me very well because I do like putting hotels early on in the park. Because it just makes sense that guests wouldn't have to lug their luggage around. We did, after all, establish that luggage is a thing. That's why these jeeps are here. Luggage gets loaded into the jeeps. They take it to the tour. They chuck it into the trunk. They stuff it in there good. And it drops both the guests and their luggage off here. But at this point, the guests are on their own. They have to drag their own suitcases around. So yeah, I think that's going to be really cool to have hotels here. I'll probably have to, because I had another idea. I have a lot of ideas. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're big. Sometimes they're too big. I kind of wanted to do that here. I'm gonna have to finesse the terrain a little bit, because what we want to do is we want to use the trick that I have of burying the, hey, where are my contour lines? To bury the base of the aviary, so guests can look into it from the ground perspective. Otherwise, the concrete base is a little too tall for them. I just heard the Rex screaming in the background. I'm not gonna do another roar counter. I know you guys appreciated it. It was really funny, but oh my god, she roars so much. I kind of have to. Yeah, there she goes again. I kind of have to ignore it, honestly. I do typically like people being able to walk all the way around it. I'm attached to that. I want people to be able to walk all the way around it. Okay, so let me see if I can bury it the way I intended. Grant myself the room to move, and that's okay. Bam! Now let's attach a hatchery. This is just what you have to do first, obviously, to get the creatures in. All right, so that is gonna work as a connection. So yeah, I want to do the butterfly bats, and that's gonna be our first deviation of like the franchise dinosaurs. I want to just make it clear, you know, in episode 3, maybe a little late, but I think I have been making it clear we're not aiming for a recreation, and we're not going to be limiting our dinosaur selection in any way. Obviously, we're going to be giving the franchise dinosaurs the spotlight here in honor of The movies that we all love. I don't know why you said it like that. Like this, you know, this is special, this is very special. But I don't want to limit the dinosaur selection to just that. Okay, so the other idea I had, and it's gonna be, this is gonna be difficult. Obviously I could place it now, but I want to raise up the terrain. That's pretty good, that's decent, that's decent. I actually like that we see that little concrete foot over there.
It's a little foot.
Oh, this... maybe not. Once I release the Jailopterus, it's gonna be a bit of a pain. That's not what I wanted. They're gonna be in the way of me trying to place this thing. Let's see. I don't want to have it off to the side though. Yeah, do I... Oh my god, if I'm gonna release them, it's gonna be madness. It's gonna be like a hitbox madness. Okay, so I'm gonna release them. I'm gonna try. Because I want to get it in the center. Can I delete it now? Yes, okay. Pause. Oh, I think one of them is already in the airspace of the dome. All right, here we go, folks. Fingers crossed that this is gonna... Oh, dang it. See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. I guess I'll place it off to the side a little bit. Oh, that is unfortunate, though. I am gonna go for it. So I'll put it over there. It's fine. Yeah, now this is gonna be a problem. It's all a problem. Ah! Ha ha! Yeah, who's your master? It's me! Okay, I can work with this. That was a very special moment for us all. Aren't you happy that we shared that? Like, and I will once more reiterate that this sort of stuff is the reason that I 100% will eventually mod my game. Because that's just annoying. We can all agree, right? That's just annoying, the way that had to be done. I want to see if I can torture myself and you as well, you know, because we're in this together with another step that I should have done before. Which is to take one of these around. Now, okay, so the thing here is, you place the first one. Let's go on the outside of the path. There is a plan forming in me head. There. Yeah, make it a little bit more special. Now, special can be good, special can be bad, so, you know, feel free to fill that in as you see fit. Look, I literally, I don't have much time to record this episode. Oh, by the way, it's like a national holiday today in my country, and I wasn't really planning on celebrating, but then people were like, nah, you know, we're not really celebrating, but we're gonna be eating a lot. You want to come eat a lot? And then I was like, well, yeah, duh. I'll come eat. I'll help with that. I'm gonna have to fill all of this in. Oh my god. Why do I do this to myself? Why did I start my career as the crazy path lady and now I'm stuck with that legacy, even though I've changed my name? You can change your name, but you cannot change your destiny. I still believe I can best the terrain constraints. Oh, sweet summer child. Obstructed by facility path. You're joking. You are joking. I bet I won't be able to fit a toilet there. I'm trying reverse psychology on the game. That's not gonna work, right? Yeah, no, the game was like, yeah, you're right. That's not you're right. It doesn't work. Game be like, your mind tricks don't work on me. Like, come on, in what world? In what world? What do you think? Will that fit? I'm not quite yet familiar with how big the starting buildings are. We're gonna go with the Jurassic Park style. It is bigger than expected, which is what every guy hopes to hear. I'm gonna retrace that comment. No. Watch me leave it in as I edit. Oh, you gotta be joking me. All right, fine. We'll put it there. Fine, you win. There, you win. I shouldn't even be talking as I do this. I'm gonna turn this into I'm gonna speed build this. So why am I even talking? I need to figure out the placement of the hotels. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull it back quite a bit.
5 minutes later.
So yeah, is this it? Is this it? Is this really the best layout?
A few minutes later.
I feel weird about this one.
1 eternity later.
For now, I'm gonna stick with it. But I would like for the court records to show that am not thrilled. It's not always easy, you know, I keep saying, add elevation to your parks. It's so important. God, I hate myself. Because it's also so difficult. There, path going up. So you go up here. You should probably first go to your hotel, drop off your luggage, and then you go up here into the rest of the park. Okay, I think we finally got it. We're gonna whip out the king. Today is King's Day after all. This is a new channel emoji available for all channel members. It is the superior bush. Because I don't want people to see like the ugly parts of the building. So we have quite a bit to cover up over here. Quite a bit of criminally offensive things to hide.
Hey, little boo.
Over in super fast forward, okay. Hey, buddy! Get rid of it completely. Let's, there's a more... Actually, I want to get rid of this grass as well. There, just get rid of all of that. I think something is sleeping over here, which prevents me from editing the terrain. Okay, here, we'll just lean into it. We'll add some foliage over here. Now, since they're teeny tiny, we wouldn't want to obstruct the view too much with too much foliage. I grab this one. This one's super cool. Really like how it leans over the dome. I think that's really nice. And let's do another one. Oh, that's not nice. That's a little weird. Maybe I like it though. Maybe I like it? Maybe I like it. I don't know, it makes it more natural, makes it maybe even a little bit overgrown. You know what I mean? I do not hate it. Yeah, I think it lends a bit of an overgrown look to the aviary that I like. Yeah, if you hate it, comment down below. And we'll talk about it. Isn't it funny how I just said that I don't want to obstruct the view too much, and then I went ahead and filled the entire thing with trees? So let's stop that. She says as she... Look, you know what we need to do. I guess I should focus a little, because I wanna do a little bit out here. I just realized they don't have water. That's a problem, innit? I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off the water need if I haven't already. And I'm gonna give them a fountain and pretend that they drink from that. Would I want a big fountain like this? Is that what I want? Maybe it's not about what I want. Maybe it's about what will fit. And this one definitely won't fit. I think it might be pretty cool. I like it. I like it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm having a weird day. Oh, they sit on the fountain. Okay, I'm sold. I am sold. This was an amazing idea. This was brilliant. And, yeah, you can congratulate me in the comments for my genius. Practically impossible to see the Jailopterus because we're not allowed to actually get as close as I would want us to go. So I want to figure out something about that. So what I think I'm gonna do to cheat, I want to pretend that there is a sandy path going closer to the aviary. Sometimes my genius, it frightens me. Look, I do not play this game by the rules of the game, okay? You guys know this. I pretend that stuff is other stuff, double stuff, mega stuff. So we can pretend that guests can just walk out onto this sandy path and get close enough to the aviary that they can actually see some stuff. And hopefully I can get the decorations close enough to sell that. Yes, I can. I can. Oh, it's a good day. It's a good day. And that'll be our viewpoints. That's really strange that the hitbox is so different all the way around. Okay. So yeah, we're just gonna be looking for those spots. It seems to be that around these points, the game is like, no, I need more space. Honey, I need more space. You're suffocating me. Yeah, it's around those, around the feet. I was gonna say the foots. Oh, bless. There, okay, so those would be our viewing moments. Then I guess we can bring the dirt back in these areas. Alright, so I do like the concept. I'm not in love with the fact that it's super uneven, but I do think it was the way to go to get guests closer to the actual aviary. Alright, I really have to go. I have to go. So I'm just gonna save this. I will finish this as soon as... Okay, so save, yeah. I'm sure the people who are hosting me would appreciate it if I at least take the time to get dressed and brush my teeth.
One eternity later.
Hello there.
Alrighty, I am back. I've had too much to eat. I'll leave it unspoken whether I've had too much to drink as well. Moving on. Yeah, I like the idea of lining this with rocks. We'll use the pink rocks. Because, you know, they're pink. Matches with the path. Feels a little bit more decorative than, you know, the ones that I might use casually for dinosaur droppings in other scenarios. I like it. I like it. I'm gonna do it over here as well. There, and I think that's where we should leave it off. And then the path is already curving a little bit over there to hide that. I'm gonna switch back to planters. I'll use these. There. Yeah, that pretty decently hides that the path goes up there a little bit. I do want to make like a little rock formation here. Here, so what I do, I start with like, you know, a random selection of rocks, and then we're gonna add some foliage to that. So let's just see where it'll fit. I love these. They're super, super good. There, and maybe a king to fill this up a little bit. Here, put a big tree like that. Maybe one of these slimmer, tall ones. There. Oh, that looks pretty nice, actually, next to the tower. Line it with palm trees. Here we'll add a wonky one. This is the rebel palm tree right there. He's like, no, you can't tell me to be straight. That's actually really funny. I really like that. And I want to fill this up, make it more natural, because right now it's just really just bland terrain texture. And it's just yuck. It's just hard to look at for me. Some nice rocks. Let's mix it up again in terms of the color. I did really like the effect of that. And of course I'm going to be doing the same thing over here, right? Adding foliage to it. I'm starting with these, literally just because they're my favorite, and I want to make sure that I can fit them in a nice spot. Just a nice mix of trees. That's fun, right? That's fun. It's fun. Like, just agree with me. For once, please. There. Just looks a lot more natural like that. I think we can all agree, right? Yeah. Yeah, just agree with me. Just give me this small victory. My life is very empty. Ah, that's really lovely. I like this. It's... Oh, there it is. I was going to say, it's quite difficult to actually spot the Jailopters, but because they really love sitting on the railing of the dome, you actually do get pretty decent... Here, there you go. See, you do get a pretty decent viewing experience from in here. So that's really nice, actually. What we're going to be doing in this video, we're not going to be building over here, and we're not going to be building over here. No, we're subverting expectations. We're gonna be... Yes, scream, baby, scream. There she is. We're gonna be building right here. And that might not make sense until you realize that we're going to make a change. A change for the better, because I had an idea, and I quite like it. We're gonna have a zip line that takes guests from all the way up there to here. Looking at what we're going to be building in this episode, which is, yeah, what is it? It is like a raptor bonanza. I like using that word nowadays. But in the movies, we have let's call it four families of raptors. They're not really like different species. We're gonna give each of the raptor families their own habitat, but it is sort of incorporated into one area, and we're gonna, it's like gonna roughly be shaped like a 4-leaf clover, but you know, it's gonna be like the 4-leaf clover of death. It's not gonna be a lucky thing, that's for sure. I mean, if you come out alive, you're definitely lucky, because yeah, I would feel very claustrophobic going into what we're going to be building, probably. So I'm widening the path, because this will be seeing quite a bit of traffic, because people have to go to the interior of the build. Let's go out from there, because it's in the interior where the viewing opportunities are. So there you go. I've thickened it up. I'm just sort of like eyeballing it to get it to be square. Okay, so we have our 4 quadrants, and I'm just gonna figure out where to put which, you know, movie inspired habitat. This is gonna be the 3rd one. Just because I think that this one is going to have the least amount of space because I don't want to cut into the canyon more than I've already done, and 3 just needs the least amount of space to recreate. I think this is going to be Jurassic World based. This one will be Jurassic Park based, and this one will be based on The Lost World. So, for the first movie, there's like a couple of things we want to use, right? I use it so little, I kind of forget where it is. Where is it? Oh, it's over here. So obviously for the first movie, we need this thing, and I want to have the bunker. Let me just check the view. Yeah, I think we can bring this closer, angle it a little bit more, and then beyond there's gonna be the bunker where they run to. Here, so closer, angle it a bit more, and then the bunker beyond that. I think that's okay. Okay, now we don't have to make the exhibits bigger than they need to be. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut into this one like this. They're not gonna all have the same shape. The shape is sort of gonna be dictated to by... it's gonna be dictated by how much we need to fit in there, you know? I also think it would be cool if on this side we have a little bit of... a moment where guests sort of, quote-unquote, walk into the exhibit. Surrounded by raptors. That sounds like a bad idea. That's cool. Yeah, that feels really exposed, but that's kind of what we're going for. So like, you know, technically it's safe, but you want it to feel unsafe. You want some danger when you come over here. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay, so that's like the basic shape of the first one. Now the basic shape of the second one. Okay, so this is based on The Lost World. So we want to try to like create the worker village. I want this one, I think, somewhere. That building is just really good for this purpose. And these 2 jeeps I can just drive away and place somewhere else, like we did with the jeeps at the start. And then I also, like, this just looks amazing for a worker village inspired habitat. We're gonna be playing a bit of a game of Tetris. Hold on. Look at this mess. I'm just trying to figure out the placement for these buildings. It's not easy. That tower is quintessential. We need that tower. There's no doubt in my mind. So let's build the fences so our jeeps cannot return. I'm filling up a lot of the space. Maybe I'm filling up too much of the space, but obviously it has to feel like a village, right? So you need several buildings in order to create that feeling. So that's our second exhibit. Done. Obviously that's not the case. Okay, so this one, really all I can think about this one. Ooh, actually no, I do have an idea. And oh, the placement here might be perfect. Yes, the placement here is perfect with this hill over here. I'm gonna bring it closer. We don't need much space in the actual exhibit. Grab that one. No, let's do the Malta one just because it looks rusted. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah? Or should it be lower, you think? You can't answer. You're not here with me. That would be really weird if I, like, turned around right now and you were just there. Don't do that. No, don't do that. That is better, I think. And you can tell what we're going for, right? So that will be the Pteranodon cage. And we can actually use that. It can be a usable thing from the other side. So we would probably... Oh, it's angled a little bit weird. I kind of want to angle it that way. There, so we're sort of... Here, see? You see what I mean, right? We want to keep the round shape of it, but now we actually did make it quite a bit bigger. We're probably gonna, like, keep the canyon's, like, end placement as it is right here. And we're gonna do invisible fencing to sort of, like, connect it into the canyon, maybe. This one's gonna be quite foresty, but one of the key details is that we're gonna be using this one. Yeah, you can barely see that. Plants are beautiful because the idea here is that the velociraptors killed the Spinosaurus. I want to take it closer though. We should probably go for the Riverside B situation, right? Oh, we do see the planter quite a bit better now. Okay, so maybe that's too close. It's all about the details. That is better. Like, it's further away, but the planter is less noticeable. Okay, so that's basically all I can think of for the Jurassic Park 3 one. For the 4th one, I want to build like something Main Street inspired. It's not necessarily, because like this is for the Raptor Squad, right? And the Main Street is not necessarily the most iconic scene for the Raptors, but it is going to be very different from the other 3 quadrants in this build, so it'll stand out, and that's why we want like a varied experience here. So we're gonna go with Main Street. Now I could like place the innovation center is huge though. I don't actually think it's gonna work. Where is the innovation center? What is the I think it's in a yeah, there you go. Like technically I could make that work as like the backdrop. And it's gonna be outside of the habitat, but like as the backdrop. Ooh, I do like that though. I do like that. I think it's a pretty decent use of this awkward bit of space that we have over here. Here, we'll leave some space for the raptors to go behind the building, so it is still part of their exhibit, but we don't want to lose the effect of having the buildings like right by the viewing gallery. Yeah, see, that just looks way better. And then back here is where the raptor show is going to take place at some point. All right, that works. That's possible. But what I would prefer to be able to do is this one. Pièce de la Rice. Yes, 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 yes. Here, this guy in front of it. Okay, okay. It's literally been 50 minutes to figure out the basic layout, but we finally have it. You can see just how extensive this build is gonna be. There's still one more thing, and that is the raptor attraction, the raptor show, so to speak. That'll be big enough, right? Definitely. This works, this works. All right! Here, and the trainers would be like behind invisible fencing. There you go, because they wouldn't actually be in the habitat like exposed to the velociraptors. There would be the protection of the invisible fencing. I still would not want to stand there, but yeah, we put our faith in the invisible fencing in our parks. All right, and then the reason that I didn't want to go any further forward with this is that I want to turn this into a nice plaza and also actually have usable buildings. Yeah, we'll go big. Oh my god, I struggled so much trying to make something interesting, path arty out of this awkward area, but this is what it's gonna be. It was a struggle to even get to this. There, just so there's something happening in terms of the path color, because it is quite a big square that we have in the center over here. So we need it needs to have some sort of visual interest, you know, and we're gonna be putting a fountain in here. I could have also done a garden, but I think we're going to use these side bits as gardens already. I'm just saying that if you would want to put a garden here, if you're going to be creating something similar. See, that's what I had in mind. And what I could even do... There, that's pretty lovely. It might honestly be too lovely. You could also go with like a themed area, but apparently that's not what I'm gonna go with. Decisions were made. They might be bad decisions, but we're gonna stick with them.
One eternity later.
Oh my lord, there have been so many distractions today! And this build is already time consuming and complicated enough, thank you very much. Alright, so I'm back. I'm gonna focus on this exhibit right now, because I feel like we're gonna have to turn this into a two-parter, because there's so much work. So the goal here now is to dirty it up, I think, quite a bit. And we'll add some of this, because now the point is to make it look overgrown, right? I've turned off the water need for dinosaurs, because, you know, in exhibits like this, I feel like trying to add water is, one, just impossible, apparently. Yeah, it's literally impossible. Okay, so yeah, it's a good thing I turned that off then. And we're just gonna pretend that the velociraptors are also, just like the Jailopterus, we're gonna pretend that they drink from fountains, which is gonna be this one. And we would hide that from sight. Would they be able to see it? They would, so we're gonna put that all the way in the back. So this would be like the water troughs for the velociraptors. I do really like the effect that this one creates, so we're gonna be using a combination of things. Check it again. Oh, yeah, see, I really need that tower to be quite freestanding to have maximum effect. Alright, grab my redwoods. Grab me redwoods, here they are. I don't want to go overboard with the trees because the point here, of course, is that, you know, it's a worker village. So I think I should go for predominantly smaller vegetation. I do like the dead tree. There. Yeah, that's already looking pretty good. Okay. Some rocks in there. Honestly, in terms of an exhibit, you know, the buildings are obviously already doing a lot. Oh, what I could do is like some of these, which look a little bit more like concrete debris. So what you could even do is like if you make a perfect straight line with it, it sort of looks like there was a wall here and it's just completely crumbled down to the lowest layer. This sort of stuff is also kind of cool because obviously this does tie into the Lost World. There, yeah, I think that's actually pretty cool. And what we could even do is add the fire pit idea that I've used for like my campsites. Spinning it around. There, now we have a fire pit. Oh, I'm regretting the size of this enclosure. There's a lot of cool stuff that we could do. There's like very little usable space left, but I mean, you could pretend that the velociraptors can also walk on this, you know? I really like it, and I think I've achieved like maximum capacity in terms of decor bits and stuff, so I should leave it at this. Oh, that looks spoopy. Did I just really take a picture of just some trees with smoke? I did. I totally did. The first of the velociraptors is in. I do really like having buildings inside an enclosure. I think it looks really awesome to see the dinosaurs among the buildings. We're making progress on the island, and in the last episode we started our 4-part raptor enclosure with each section paying homage and including Easter eggs from different Jurassic movies. Farmer Zach had an excellent suggestion that is going to require some finagling, as I like to call it, but what they suggested is for the Jurassic Park one to have a path going up to the bunker, like with invisible fence, to have it be accessible. And I think that's super cool, super freaky, and not something I would volunteer to do, but that is what we're gonna do. To achieve this, we have to move this building, and I think I'm gonna put it like that. I think we're gonna just have to make this exhibit bigger to start with. So we just get rid of those walls. Grab it again. This does mean it's no longer like the backdrop of our view from the viewing gallery, but that's okay. Let's say we do it like that. What I want to do is have a path just like that, just a super narrow path. Should it be straight? I think it should be straight. We should just walk past, we should see the bunker as Ellie Sattler saw it and think to ourselves, run! That's from a different scene, I know. Alright, let me try to figure this out. That works. That works, and hopefully by doing that, I can make this happen without them trying to snap to each other. That was a low-key brilliant idea. So yeah, you walk around here and this is like, scary, scary, scary. We're gonna be seeing people. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. We're gonna be seeing people walking through and having like that nervous moment of, dude, you're in the freaking raptor paddock. That's not a good idea. Yeah, so I kind of like having this rounded. Maybe? So I think I'll put the food in here, and because this area is bigger, I think that'll guarantee that the raptors do actually go back and forth between the two halves. Yeah, that's cool, and it's like, and obviously they can go in here, and instead of like an emergency bunker, it's gonna be something else, you know? Imagine that it has like an underground whatever. right? It's not just a bunker. Oh, someone else, I'll look up the comments, because I don't have it saved right now. I don't have it open, but someone else pointed out that we need this one. And since we no longer have to, like, keep the view open towards the bunker, I think we can definitely do that. It's a shame we can't put it on top of there. If you have mods, I would suggest that you do that.
She said doo-doo.
Sorry. And we'll put this one at a bit of an angle. We're gonna check our view. It's maybe a little bit too close now. I think this is good. We'll still be able to see the people walking behind that. Yeah, I think that'll do. Let's grab some Dwaynes. Honestly, I really don't think the raptors getting through here is going to be an issue at all. Looking at that hitbox. Yeah, look at that. It's huge. It's huge. Can we squeeze? Squeeze. Yeah, there you go. Nice, 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 nice. Grab my favorite tree. It's Mediterranean, but nobody will know. All right, this can just go on the path. There. Oh, if only we had placeable logs, that would be so good. Want to obstruct, like, what we're seeing here? Bunny! Oh no, he's like, feed me. No, honey, it's not time. Look, only one of us can tell time, okay? And it's me. Yeah, that's cool. I do think that she jumps over the log of a palm tree, actually. Like a thick freaking palm tree, I'm pretty sure. Don't want to obstruct it too much from here, because again, I want people to be able to see it. I probably wouldn't want people to see the opening in the fence. So we are going to cover that up first with rocks, and then with some other stuff. Nice, nice, nice. This in front of this needs sand, because it was sandy in the movie. I do want to point out, though, we're not, like, recreating the movie or anything, right? We're not recreating the actual area. It's just like a little Easter egg. We're not pretending that this is the actual site where this happens. It's like, but yeah, it's just that this enclosure was designed with these Easter eggs in mind. It's not the real thing, is what she's trying to say with too many words. Now, ideally, we would obviously get a log like, oh, well, oh, it would just be so good if we had placeable logs. It would be so, let me just see what happens. Yeah, nothing. Cool. I'm not mad. Ah! There. Me log! Personally, I wouldn't necessarily put rocks like this right by the fence, because I would imagine that the raptors actually use it as like a step stool to climb over the fence. But we're not going that far into the realism aspect of it, okay? We can pick and choose what rules of reality we abide by. Yeah. Okay. So if I were to drop us down now. Yeah, oh my god, that would be so scary. Oh, hold on, because people are very, very not smart. Can we put it that way? I think we can put it that way. I feel like it would need something like this. Let's be honest here. Yes, that would be necessary. Otherwise, someone would just stumble into the habitats. And that's a lawsuit.
We're gonna make a fortune with this place.
And we don't want that.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
There. That's better. I think that's better. Let's check it again. Yeah, now I feel less like I'm gonna just accidentally walk into the enclosure. I think visually I like the first one better because it really felt like unsafe. But I think this makes more sense in a park setting. Let's go, we'll go for 5. Why? I don't know. I selected 4. I can count, I swear. We're gonna move on to this one, and people suggested to replace this fence right here. I need to be looking up so many comments from people. You guys are giving really good suggestions, so yeah, definitely keep them coming. Here, to replace that fence with this fence. And I agree, that's a good call. Actually, for this one, I got a really great suggestion from, I think, 2 or 3 people who said that I should have done the, what's it called? The airstrip. It's not really an airport, it's an airstrip from Jurassic Park 3. I think that's a super awesome idea. I don't want to make the room for that here. And also, The airstrip was more about the Spinosaurus. So what I was thinking is that we do that for the Spinosaurus habitat. That's what we're gonna add an airstrip into. If you agree, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss that. I mean, we're going more for Riverside B than the coast. So I think I should go with Muddy. And yeah, I should definitely go with Muddy because we already have like the white sand right in front of the viewing gallery for the Jurassic Park 1 enclosure. Now I can't worry about this too much yet because that's for future Evo to deal with. Bless her. Good luck. Dinosaur threats. I did not complete this enclosure. Wait, how are they escaping? Bunny, don't mope. You're getting your food soon, honey. It's so early. It is 2 hours before your dinner time. Come on, babes. I can't say I don't relate. Wait, hold on. It's a tiger-striped raptor. The tiger-striped raptors are getting out. How? I think it just phased through the wall then. I'm not seeing it. If I'm overlooking something, if I'm that blind, please tell me. But yeah, I think it's because there's so much stuff in here that when they perform a social animation, it just way increases the chances that they're gonna accidentally phase through the wall. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a relatively, I'm gonna say simple, but we're all thinking the same thing. It's maybe a little boring. It does the trick. And obviously we're gonna have the Pteranodon flying in that aviary over there, so that's gonna be quite cool to have as the backdrop. I think that's it. It's very simple, but I mean, we're already doing the mostest with the rest of them, right? Alright, so now we've arrived at movie number 4 and exhibit number 4, which is Jurassic World. Alright, so we're gonna be evoking like Main Street feelings, but not necessarily recreating Main Street, right? We're just going for like a guest area. So that's the obvious way to go. Am I gonna fill it in with one path color? That feels a little boring. That feels a little unevo. I could also put a building back here. Oh, that makes me a little sad. Hold on. We could put a restroom. Let's do that. Why not? Alright, did I leave enough space? Moment of truth. Beautiful. Not quite. But it will be. It will be. I don't think I like the fancy path. I think I need to change it. I get what I was going for, but I do like this much, much better. That helps. It's a little random, but it does help. Breaking it up, I think, is important. Okay, so I think it would be nice to have like a fountain. I don't want to put in like an excessive amount of stuff because you still want your animals to have the freedom to move around. We just need enough stuff that it really evokes the whole, oh yeah, okay, this is like a pretend for guests. Okay, in terms of the buildings, the location is important, or the location of the thing. I think for these, we need to angle it towards the viewing gallery. Excellent! I think that works pretty well. I don't normally spend this much time thinking about my buildings. I don't normally think about my buildings at all. It's one of my many flaws. You know, in case you're keeping track, in case you're keeping like some sort of list for nefarious purposes. Now this area back here was kind of like, you know, just for the raptors to get away from prying eyes. Because remember, these raptors are also part of like a raptor show, where they would perform, you know, some tricks to wow the crowd. So that's what happens over here. Maybe it should just, I think this should just be fully sandy. I like this. I think that's gonna be cool. Do we need something over here? Okay, so this is our show arena, so to speak. So at certain show times, guests would come in. Maybe something for the animals to perform tricks with. I'm just shopping around. I'm literally, like, none of this is planned, clearly. I do think this requires another safety tower. We're gonna be working on the guest area. I don't think this really needs any more. This would be prime like real estate for a bench. I'm just saying, Frontier. I'm just saying it will be a good place for a bench. Beautiful. And then look, this is cool. Here, you can come over here and you can look into the T-Rex habitat. So we're getting another chance to see our park mascot, which I feel makes sense. You know, in front of the Innovation Plaza, we get another chance to look at Papaya, our park mascot. I think that's super appropriate. Yeah, I'm immune to this notification at the top. I know that's one of my unique features. It's a feature, not a bug. But yeah, I'm immune to that. I'm sorry if you are not. That's so cool. Oh, I love this. I am personally blind to all of these notifications, but I am not insensitive to the plight of those who are not. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into settings, gameplay, and we're gonna switch off the individual like building icons. So there, see that right away gives you some inner peace, I hope. This thing at the top though, that's kind of there to stay. However, as a professional YouTuber, I have a solution for that. And there you have it. Pro YouTuber move. I don't know. Is that better? I don't know. Let me know. Anyway, I got rid of the walls surrounding the path because people were like, safety? We don't even know her. Oh, and we have a goat feeder in the raptor arena, so we can see some bloodshed. And we also have the Biosyn fountain, which is a hoop for the raptors to jump through. So there's that. Let's go make more safety hazards. Oh yeah, I don't know. Let me know. How do you feel about this? I don't know. So they're like little waterfalls and the rocks are like supposedly the frothing water. I did a thing. I don't think I like the thing, but let me know how you feel about the thing. I feel like I might personally resent the thing with all of my being. What we're gonna do with the thing though is it's gonna be part of like this massive canyon enclosure. We're gonna have zip lines going over it, so I feel like that would be a good place to start. Maybe like that. Let's see. It's already becoming quite tall. Sorry. No, that's not ridiculously tall. Like when you go the maximum, this one isn't even the maximum distance, by the way. Okay, so that's one. I really, you know what I resent? There's not a lot about this game that I resent, but there is something about this game that I resent, and that is that I can't do that. You know, that it should be a thing, and it's not a thing, and it makes me so mad. I don't have issues. I do really want it to go by the thing, though. I don't know why I did that. So you're sort of, you know, flying towards what's going to be the JP3 Pteranodon aviary. Okay, I think if we just go with concrete, it's sort of, and this so far has only been tested in my head. I'm kind of thinking that maybe it'll enhance the vertical feeling of the valley, if you know what I mean. Like, I give it some actual height, because obviously with unmodded gameplay, we're dealing with a fair few limitations. So let me look at that. I do think it gives it like some sort of cliff face illusion. This is very satisfying though, just like curving this fence. This is therapeutic. This is what I play this game for. I don't play it for the dinosaurs, I play it for the therapy. Go on then. I think I should separate it into two. I'm gonna do something really ugly, but this needs to be done. I need to ride the zip line. I need to know, you know? I need to know. I need to know what we're dealing with. So I'm just uglily connecting it so I can ride it. Alright. Okay, okay. She's thinking. She's thinking. Right. This is pretty cool. Not gonna lie. Oh, I do like that. I think maybe put like invisible fence in here and separate it. Blech. There. I think that's going to be the least... Look at him go. What are you even doing here? Let me disconnect it so they stop doing that, because it's bothering me already. Yeah, okay. So we have a smaller habitat and we have a bigger habitat. I think the big one is gonna be Carnotaurus. I know that I feel like people are gonna be commenting that it should be like a herbivore valley, and I would agree that sauropods would be kind of cool, but since, you know, there's so little like actual flat space, and I don't like how the sauropods just look silly and out of place when they're like trying to climb these steep hills. You know what I mean, right? They just, it doesn't look right, okay? Oh, you know what? Here, I have an analogy for you. Seeing like an old lady with a walker on a treadmill. It's like, sure, okay, you could. It's, yeah, like, okay, but should you? Is that what the doctor advised, you know? And that's what, what sauropods on a hill are giving me in this game. So we're not gonna take that route. This should be a fairly easy enclosure. I feel like every time I say that though, it ends up being the opposite. Okay, so like with the teeny tiny brush, we're gonna like add some life into this. This is cool though. This already, she puts like, she puts down a couple of bushes and she's like, oh yeah, my job's done. Well done. I am a park building genius. That actually looks quite nice. Make it a little bit more red. Yeah. Oh, I like that. And it still like keeps the texture of the rock. This is good. The bar, I've set the bar really low for myself. Yes, mixing two textures. That is the epitome of creative park building. Well done, Eve. But that looks better. Am I just crazy? No. I am crazy, but that does look better. Let's Dwayne it up in this place. I don't really know what to talk about. Like, I'm literally just placing rocks. It's not like there's a technique to it. I can't really wax poetic about it, other than just make a lot of Dwayne The Rock Johnson jokes. But you know, we've been there. We've done that. Maybe I should stop with the rocks, she says as she selects another rock. I feel like, you know, a couple more of the small rocks. Just put in a bunch of those, because obviously they do the mostest. A bush has never bushed as good as these bushes bush. See, that looks way better. I've lowered the bar so far for myself. I'm so proud of myself. I've done nothing. Dinosaur fat. Oh god. Who? Oh no. Okay, how much do you want to bet that is one of the tiger-striped raptors? It isn't! Well, what's your excuse for phasing through the walls? Because, like, with these guys, I sort of get it, you know? They're so compacted in here that when they do, like, a little animation, they just phase through the wall. But these guys have space. It's blowing my mind right now. I feel like I'm freaking high on sugar and caffeine. I should not... Oh my god. I still have like traumatic flashbacks from the, what was it? The second episode when I built this. I was so tired. I was so sleepy. I was so quiet. It was an absolute nightmare to edit because it was just nothing. She was giving nothing. Like, yes, queen, give us nothing. This is obviously just a really simple habitat. Again, fret not. We're gonna go all out with that Spinosaurus, like airstrip inspired habitat. A lot of people have been commenting that I should replace this circle with a lagoon. This episode is all over the place. For starters, it's too small. And yeah, we could make it bigger, but then it becomes too... I don't want to do that. We are gonna have a lagoon. But like smart people, the lagoon is gonna just be completely landlocked and safe, so the animal cannot escape. Oh, also, I think in an earlier episode, I said that I was gonna have a tour go through this canyon. I decided against that, as you can clearly see. Am I gonna explain my decision? No. These are cool plants though. I don't use these enough. This is so cool. Hide this really funky... Still not sure how I feel about it. Water situation. Like when you look at it like from a really great distance, it looks okay. Like if you had to guess, you'd say, yeah, I think that's waterfalls. But then it's like, oh no, Oh no! Oh, it's cursed! It's so cursed! It looks okay. It looks pretty cool. Hold your freaking horses. What if we chuck either this one or this one in here? Oh, would that work? No! That would have been so fun! Because then you can, like, see the people flying overhead. No! Not gonna lie, Frontier, I feel like this should have worked. I'm still mad. I'm still so mad. Like, oh my god. The day that I install mods, this is gonna happen. Like, this exact shit. This looks so mind-blowingly good, and it makes me inexplicably, incomprehensibly angry that they made it so that it cannot do that. I'm gonna see if I can maybe we'll shrink, we'll shrivel down the river. Please, 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 please. Oh, did I see it turn blue somewhere? Ah! No, I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna flatten the frick out of that. I guess we have no choice. Yeah, there you go. We can rebuild him. You know what? Oh, you know what's cool? I think this works really well. Here, you can look down. Yes. Okay, so this needs... Okay, so now that we've done this, we need to give this a little TLC. I really don't want them to be able to see, like, the absolutely hideous waterfall, so we're gonna hide that. Like, we're hiding a body. Yes. Okay, and we can eat. Yes, okay, this is good. I also had the idea of using these as park transportation. It doesn't really make much sense anymore though, because this is such a small area that we should probably save it for this. And really just have like stations everywhere, because we're not gonna have monorail stations going around. What I did also realize is that it's now a dead end unless you take the zip line. But I don't feel like a park would ever force guests to take a zip line, because, you know, because of the whole grandma with a walker thing. You can't put grandma with her walker on a zip line. So I need to figure something out about that. I think a hyperloop is going to be the way to go. I initially thought of adding a ramp over here. I guess I still could. But then, like, this space is already quite small, and I don't want to lose this space to a ramp. So I think we're gonna have to go with hyperloops. And I prefer to use this thing for that, because it has a really low profile, so you can hide it quite well. Here, now from the ground perspective, you don't really see that this building is just really not normal. That's cute. Okay, I'm just like trying to figure stuff out. I'm sorry, sometimes I'm just so good. Alright, I'm just doing like some random stuff with the path in terms of like cutouts and adding in different colors. I don't know, some sort of weird take on modern art or whatever this is supposed to be. Hello, Editing Evo here. So I was dutifully rambling away as I was building off this. I just slapped my microphone. I'm sure he deserved it, and I'm also fairly certain he secretly likes it. But I was just talking as I was building. But really, this episode is just becoming so long already that I just decided to speed build the frick out of this part. I mean, you've seen me place rocks and trees at this point quite extensively during this episode, so I think you understand the process here, which is just chuck in as much stuff as the frame rates can handle. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, enjoy the game. G Stop Motion commented on the last video, you should put Stegosaurus in the other end of the valley. I think that would fit really well. And, well, you had me at Stegosaurus, because that's my favorite dinosaur, as many of you know. The suggestion that we're going to be working on in this episode, finally, is from Dino Dude 776, which is to do a runway slash airstrip slash airport in the Spinosaurus habitat. Actually, Dino Dude didn't specify the Spinosaurus, that was my idea. They were just like, make a runway for the Jurassic Park 3 Raptor, so that was actually for this one. But then it was like, no, we need to, I got you, fam. I got you, fam. I know what we need to do. I want to just remind everyone that we're not actually recreating anything. It's not supposed to be a real runway. It is we're building a theme park, an original dinosaur theme park. And we're just using some ideas. And, you know, one of the crazy ideas in this theme park is to just have a useless runway in here. You know, as you do. Capitalism, am I right? It's just inexplicable. I think that's good in terms of width. I haven't yet figured out like what the shape of the habitat is actually going to be. I think I'm just gonna build the runway itself first and then we'll take it from there. So I want to make a line like that. We're gonna make some lines that way, which are always kind of difficult to space out evenly. Let's see how we manage. That's, yeah, I think decent is indeed the word that we should go for. And we're gonna have like many ways to view this airstrip, right? Because, okay, so the placement here, first of all, it is quite a bit of elongated land over here, but what I thought would be cool, since we have like this elevated bit of land over here, you can create like viewing opportunities here so people can see the airstrip that way. What I also wanted to do, and I'm just gonna like get started on that here, like place one of these right at the end. So you sort of, you know, you look down the runway. That's kind of cool. And I had another idea, which I think I should bring the hill a little bit closer. Attractions, there you go, because obviously, you know, we want to simulate like the flying. And then that would connect somewhere over here. All the way over here? No, I think I should leave a little bit of space. So what I actually want to do is like the airstrip is going to have like this little area next to it. And the point, like, hold on, I think that the planes, like the opportunity for the planes to turn should be on this side. Here we're going to add some buildings, and what that's going to do, like our guests can actually go here. Now I do need to figure out, because the Spinosaur should be able to walk on the runway, but we're going to have guests on this little section off to the side. And I need to figure out a fence in between. Oh, I guess we could use just the decorative objects, right? Let's just do that. Another thing I wanted to do is I want to have the tower air traffic control. For that, we're going to use this one. I also want to have that available to guests. I think we're going to put it here. Let's check the view again. I think that's going to be quite nice to have that over there. I am realizing, like, this is too small of an area. So what we should actually do is move it a bit and turn it around. We have a bit of a basis here. Let me check which buildings I want to use so I know, you know, what to make room for. I think the ranger station is just a good way to go because it has, like, a hangar. Yeah, the zipline's going to be an issue, isn't it? Oh, that's going to be a big issue. So the airplane should be able to get to the hangar. So this space we need to leave open. Why did I open that? That's absolutely insane. This we just need to leave open. We can turn that into like a little... whatever. I have all the best words today. All the best words. I don't want to use too many, like... what are we going to call them? Useless buildings. Because obviously this is not going to be used, right? So we have to be mindful of that. Not to go overboard with it. What else? I think like the staff hotels is a good thing to go with. Where are those? That is a pretty nice fit, but you'd want the airplane to be able to reach the hangar, so that's not gonna work. So we're gonna do that. This is kind of good, but it's also just so big.
That's what she said.
I mean, if we put this one, hold on, where does it actually fit? Like that? Like an airplane can still go here, right? I think that is the way to go. Yeah, I think that's going to be our little airstrip. And obviously, again, we're not recreating the actual airstrip from the movie because that's literally just a strip of tarmac. There's not a lot going on over there. So there's not a lot to recreate and to make something visually interesting out of. So that's why we're doing our own take on it, you know? So we're We're just taking some inspiration and then taking a whole lot of liberty to make it look cooler. Which is obviously the most important thing. Like, being cool trumps everything. Okay, and then on this side should be like just an opportunity for airplanes to get off the runway. It would be kind of cool. Hold on, I'm just not realizing something here. It would be kind of cool to give it like a little bit of an abandoned look, right? So we're gonna use the like the filling in technique that doesn't exactly fill in every little bit of it. And that way we create like, you know, damaged tarmac. That's gonna make it a bit more interesting than just, you know, filling it in neatly. Imperfections add character, right? That's what I tell myself. Imperfections are like my whole personality. I have nothing else. I have planter's path and imperfections. So I think that is like the best technique. Like trying to get it like right by. So you get like these super small sections. Super small weird bits. Success may vary. I am potentially going somewhat overboard with the cracks in the pavement, I think. We might have to... We might have to patch some of these potholes. As far as fake airports go, I think I could have done worse. Okay, I think this is a pretty decent base. All right, now the point of we're gonna have to style this one to look quite utilitarian, not so decorative. Basically has to blend with, okay, so no decoration seems like the way to go. It has to blend with what's around here. It has to look like it's just a building. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that got rid of a whole lot of stuff. Okay, yeah, that fits quite well. There, so there, you know, there's stuff for people to do over here. Yeah, and this is where we're gonna have it connect to the rest of the park. And that's like a thing for future me to figure out, which I'm very grateful for, that I don't have to figure that out right now. And I think for this, we will use the beefy fence. Oh, so beefy.
That's what she said. No, but okay.
I think we can do something interesting over there in terms of viewing opportunity. I'm gonna continue it for now. I think we should just go straight. Okay, so I'm thinking about one thing. Hold on. Hold one freaking second. I don't think it's gonna fit. Yeah, it's because we use standard path here. I mean, we could put it elsewhere. Yeah. And then the connection, we'll take it, oh, that would have been cool here. You know what? Let's do that. Get rid of that stupid restroom. I even be able to fit two. I don't need to, but I just wanna know. I can fit two. That's too interesting not to do. I don't know if I'm gonna need it, but there's always a way. Maybe. I'm gonna try to find a way. Okay, so if I do that, and then that, now, did I crack the code? Sit here. Oh, I use standard path on this one as well. I just remembered. You can tell I'm dedicated right now. It makes me feel like these are too much. We're not gonna do these. That's too much of a good thing. And I think we're gonna have like some foliage here to separate it a little bit. We could also add more decorations. Oh, I just realized what's gonna work as like a barrier. I think we're gonna use the containers as a wall. Or this, like have like a double, that could be cool as well. Like you could pretend it's not a cage, it's just double fencing, like a double layer of fence. Maybe even like a walkway. I think that'll work. I think that'll be okay. All right, so it has water, so it doesn't have to go towards the coast. Because that would be, like, theoretically, or, like, in universe, that would be salt water, right? So you should not be drinking that anyway. That's
a very bad idea.
That's a lot of notifications. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's cool. That's a great view of the airstrip. You're gonna fly into this guest section. Alright, so, like, close that up. This thing caught a lot of seeds. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like that. That's spoopy. I'm gonna add like some foliage to the cracks over here. So like this one. Look at these mad lads just growing in the cracks. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. This is a pretty big deal in this park. So you would really design it to get the most out of it. Here, and add like another viewing opportunity like that. That's also a pretty cool view of it. So many viewing opportunities. I should probably, hold on, exchange it with something that matches it a little bit better, like blends in. So we're gonna exchange it with that one. And I think that is our airport done. So again, it's gonna connect into the rest of the park over here. Of course, people can zipline in as well. Just ignore how messy that is. But that's pretty cool. Like you can really see yourself like up close with the skeleton to get the sense of scale before you go in here and have a spooky encounter with the Spinosaurus. Okay, so this is probably gonna be just another guest section. Okay, let's see. He's running where? Okay. Can you actually get out? Or what? Yeah, stay tuned, I guess. I will let you know in the next episode if it can get out or not. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, enjoy the game. Drop her in. Oh, the sail's a little bit flubbery. Oh god. She does not look very happy with her airport, probably because her flight has been delayed forever. You could put either a Dominion Gig or Therizinosaurus in the dome and make it a spoopy environment. Yes, yes, that's a good suggestion. So what I was thinking is making a biodome on top of the oh god, it's floating. Making a biodome on top of here, because initially the plan was, I don't know if you guys recall the plan, but I will remind you of the plan. The plan was initially to put the Innovation Center up here as like, I don't know, this shining beacon at the top of the mountain. But I actually could not delay the gratification here. I could not help myself, and I already put it over here. I don't want to have two of them. So I wanted to figure out something else for the top of the mountain, which, you know, our mountain is really more just a steep hill, but it is what it is. And I figure, you know, this is almost as tall as the Innovation Center. Yeah, not quite, but, you know, close enough. So it's gonna give some extra height to the mountain without having to go up with the terrain. What we're gonna do up here is I'm gonna make like a huge biodome and make it like a horror environment. We're gonna use a lot of the individual placeable trees. Rest in peace my my FPS, which is also why the park is closed now, which means an extra notification at the top. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do things to help out with the FPS a little bit. And that's the last that I will complain about that for today. This build might be a little less complicated, but, you know, we just built like an actual literal airport, so I feel like that should be okay. What I actually feel might be kind of cute is reverse it, getting a little bit different with it. I actually don't know if... Like, we need the path to be straight for long enough that... Or not the path, like the tour track needs to be straight for long enough that we can get a path across it. Because what I really like is that you cross over the tour track and then you sort of gather over here. So let's see if I manage to make that work. Let's grab... You know, we're going for like a horror theme, so we're gonna go for this one. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. And what if we just do it like that? And then it's just... There, see? Now, I'm using the jars here for two reasons. One of them being, like, we can make these super sharp corners, which I think is great. And also because I feel like it's gonna be the most immersive. Because we're basically making, like, a horror ride, you know? This is the top of the mountain, top of the morning, horror ride. Alright, let's try the path again. It should work this time. I said that with so much confidence that... I think I deserve that. I deserve for it not to work there. Okay. You know what? We'll just do it like that. We'll fix it later. So this is gonna be like the dedicated section. Would it need would it need a queue? Could you say entrance, exit? That would be kind of cute, isn't it? I feel like, yeah. I feel like, yeah. I have the best words. So what we're gonna do is make a queue. We're making a weird queue. Here, we'll do it like that. That's the queue. Look at that. Like, what's going on? What is going on? Good God, man. That's with the park closed. Can you imagine? So the idea here is grabbing... Yeah. Wow, sorry. I, like, had to think about that for a second. So this is, you know, green, because it's the entrance. And this is the exit, so that means that you cannot go there. Makes sense? I don't know where there was like such a long pause as if it was something dramatic, like some big reveal. It really wasn't. So I think what I can do is add another dome here. Not me having spent like the first 10 minutes flattening this back down. And I think we can, oh god, we can put one here. Hopefully. It's gonna get a weird shape, as if it doesn't already. But I don't think that's too much of an issue, you know? Unlike what I did mostly in Jurassic World Evolution 1, I don't really build parks with the vision that they need to look a certain way from like this aerial perspective. It's about the ground perspective and what suits the needs of that. Okay, here you go. Like yesterday for me was Wednesday because it's Thursday today, but it's Friday for you guys. It's very confusing. It's like the MCU timeline right now. It's all just running alongside each other. I'm probably gonna have to like change some things around, but for now, let's just like create a bit of a loop. Oh, for frick's sake. Oh, frick. Sorry. This is so... I, like, the self-restraint I showed there by going with frick instead of what is the, like, obviously the thing that came to mind. I deserve some sort of reward, some sort of I feel like you should like. I feel like you should like the video. I think I've earned that. not to boast, but I feel like I've earned it, okay? What I was actually saying before I lost my train of thought again is that if you're using mods, you would just use invisible fencing for this. What we are gonna pretend as people who play the game unmodded is actually that this line of rock has invisible fencing underneath it to make it safe. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the Giga on the other side of these rocks so that our people can't actually go through the Giga enclosure. And now I also want to break it up a little bit, so I'm going to add a couple of the bigger ones here, like that. Okay, that's enough with the rock for now. For now, she says ominously. So, Theory is going to go on this side. I'm going to go with the, like the actual Dominion. Hold on, how do we... Oh, right, like this. And then we go... all the way over here. What I was saying is we're gonna go with the Dominion theory because I feel like that's the spookiest color scheme. No, oh, I didn't need to do that. Doesn't matter. We can just cancel it. We need to hatch them over here. Duh. There they are. I guess we should just go with the Dominion Giga skin as well. Oh, that does pain me a little bit because the Giga has such great skins. It has such... Why do I... There you go. I always struggle because I'm like looking for this picture, but this is the picture in the in the overview. Yes, you are correct. I don't know the alphabet. Good observation. Okay, don't actually click it. That's not necessary. I also didn't need to modify it. This is something I really like doing for this aviary. You'll see the effect of it when we like pull back. I might as well do it all the way around. Here, see, like, normally you have, like, this tall concrete wall, and this just sort of makes it look a lot more natural, a lot less of the gray. Ooh, do I want a log? I want a log. Oh, game, you're hurting me. I guess... Okay, let me think about this. Here, we'll do it like that. Okay, so... Yeah, I think I want it over there. That basically means getting rid of, like, the entire queue idea. I'm too attached to having it over here. We're gonna get rid of the queue. It is what it is. No queuing. You lucky bastards. You have no idea how lucky you are. You know what I just realized? Huh. Let me play around with something here. Let me let me put baby in a corner. What happens? Can you do that? If we raise the terrain, it does work. Oh, I feel like that's kind of cool. The hitboxes in this game are atrocious. They're atrocious. Okay, now the question is there like a foliage? I guess these. I guess they're a little creepy. If I have to rely on individually placeable trees alone, it's gonna be a nightmare. Although honestly, with how little this is spawning, it's gonna be a nightmare either way. Okay, we have a good patch here. Yay, you. Congratulations. Alright, now we're gonna get rid of that sickening green color underneath. We should put like a little scene in here. That's difficult because someone, and I don't have the comment right now because it's not applicable to this episode, but in one of the future episodes when we're gonna do an Allosaurus habitat, we're gonna sort of like recreate an abandoned campsite. Obviously it's like drawn, inspired by Battle of Big Rock. I kind of want to do that here as well, but I feel like that's too much of the same thing. So maybe more like an abandoned worker village-esque. So if we do like this thing with this thing. Now obviously I can't like put any buildings in here. I swear this game hates me sometimes. More often than not, honestly. Clearly, like what is this? There, water tower. What's the here? Like this looks very dingy. Okay, so obviously it needs to be like overgrown. Yeah, so what I'm running into right now is that really I would want way more foliage than this for the creepy vibe, but I am hesitant to add more because I'm afraid of what the repercussions are gonna be down the line. I do think I could add more of the dead trees. I feel like that's really integral. Perhaps nowhere more so than around my toxic dump sites. They really don't match, but they are the best. Maybe just in this corner, can I get away with that? They are the best tree overall. After all, that's okay. Hashtag worth it. Maybe if I put like one thing in front of this. Oh, that worked out really well. Okay, so maybe maybe I'm gonna do that again. That was a good call. Yeah, that feels much more claustrophobic. Yeah, okay, so that was definitely necessary. Alrighty, let's get our dinosaurs in. It is past midnight now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave this guest section for some other time. I really have to stop recording now before I'm gonna upset some people. Yeah, okay, so like the obvious downside is we have no dinosaur sounds in this aviary, but it is a price I'm willing to pay. And that's something, you know, because I'm a park builder, I don't actually spend much time in my parks when I'm not building, you know? It's, aside from the tour, I don't spend any time in my parks. And that's why I don't mind too much that we don't have sound here. Yeah, it's disappointing, but I can get over that in, like, for the benefit of the look. Obviously, a biodome needs a glass roof instead of the other type of aviary. It's just standing there menacingly. And as they come creeping out, ooh, there they are. Alrighty, so that's gonna be the episode for today, and we still have our work cut out for us. We have, I can't talk anymore. I feel that's a clear sign. I need to stop recording. It's late. But we still have our work cut out for us. We still have plenty of the island left to go. Oh, that was 12 frames per second right there. Pray for me. It is day one post the Jurassic Park anniversary update with all of those amazing new decorations. And someone commented on one of my videos that they suggested like sort of a pimp my park kind of ordeal, and I thought that was hilarious. So that's gonna be somewhat what we're gonna be doing in this video. I'm gonna be adding some of the new decorations to parts of the park that we'd already completed, and we're gonna be working on this section right here. We're gonna add the Jurassic Park Pteranodon to the aviary, and what I think we're gonna do, and that might be crazy, but you know I am. I think I want to do a lagoon in here. That is so risque. I'm such a rebel. I push the boundaries of this game so far. But I think that's gonna be a pretty cool like use of this weird space. Just a weird space. Very weird. Also, you might see a slight change here between right now and the previous episode, if you've been following all of the episodes. If you have been, thank you. I did make a bit of a ramp over here. I wasn't going to do it initially, but we had this thick, chonky path over here, and I couldn't just have that be a dead end. And also, it sort of solves the issue of otherwise the rest of the park is only reachable via zip lines or this hyperloop, which, you know, is fine, but I like the idea of the path also just continuously going through the park. And I'm just excited to be building just more. Sorry, I'm a little bit crazy. I did not have much sleep. Prepare yourself. Okay, let's get these Pteranodon in. There you go. Ew! Jurassic World Pteranodon? I could never. This is the one we want. Okay, so for this one, I want to test something that was suggested by several people, which is to sort of like simulate the walkways with these cages. Am I gonna end every sentence as a question? Maybe. Sorry, I'll try to stop. I am... Whoa. Sorry. I cannot stress how little sleep. Apparently it has a very interesting effect. I should not be complaining. But, like, whoa. So what we might do, instead of like trying to take it towards an edge, we might just make like a loop. I ended the sentence on a question again. I'm so sorry. That looks fairly decent, you know, if you squint. Are you squinting? Are you? Are you? We could hide the stump. This is starting to sound like inappropriate. There, hide the stump. Stop saying that. Please stop saying that. That's one. Bushes does stop it right now. We're just gonna pretend that, you know, in this actually massive concrete wall, there's a door and people can walk around here. I think that's pretty funny. I just realized something. Animals need water. The noobs. It might work over there. Obviously not while this hatchery is here, so I think we just have to risk it and see if it works. I mean, we can always delete this if need be, like that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna do the perches in the middle. I would assume they would also sit on these things. I've never used these, like I've used them in the aviary before, but not for an aviary that actually has flying reptiles, so I don't know. All right, I wanna bring in some dirt. That's not dirt. Maybe I want to make it all dirty. That's not doing much, is it? No. I don't want palm trees. That's too tropical vacation for this situation. Okay, let's try it differently. We'll use trees. I am drawn to this. Okay, so like tropical trees, obviously. We're gonna use some of the best trees in the game, and that's... I'll show you. These ones. Oh yeah. Here, cause like, look at that. That looks so good. That looks amazing! Or maybe I do want to have it clip into it. Hold on, because one thing we need to consider is that this... Yeah, there you go. No, that actually looks great. Because this aviary was, like, conceived as the backdrop of this Jurassic Park 3 Velociraptor habitat. So yeah, it actually does look great to have them, like, overlap with it. That reminds me that I should probably move this thing over here. There, to really, like, increase the chances that you're gonna see a Pteranodon in the distance over there. Alright, here they go. It's in the brick wall. Did you guys see that? It's a bird cage. See, it's in the brick wall! Oh, that's creepy. Okay, here we go, moment of truth. Oh, there's no way I'm gonna be able to fit a feeder in there. That sucks. Oh, but I like this though. Hold on. She made a boo-boo. Do they eat goats? Do they eat goats? Or do they only eat fish? I've never tested. I don't think they eat the goats. Hold on. Oh, we can check. No, they're piscivores. They're like strictly piscivores. Wait, it says all of them are piscivores, but can't some of them eat goats as well? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see what happens. I don't know. I literally had to create this to check. I'm gonna try it, and if it doesn't work, yeah, I might turn off the hunger need, honestly. Because that's pretty cool. I don't know. I have a bad feeling about it. I don't think it's gonna work, but we'll see.
5 minutes later.
Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Well done. Well done. Thank you for your good boy. Sorry, good girl. Crisis averted. Never mind then. So, does the lagoon idea, like the absolutely bonkers lagoon idea, still work? So, I feel like I shouldn't, but I'm gonna. It fits. Like it fits. Like let's keep it positive. It fits. And then, yeah, maybe give it like a slightly more interesting shape. Okay, so what I had in mind, I keep clicking on all the wrong things. Actually, no, that's the right thing. I got so distracted by that. So what I thought is like using my, pretty much one of my favorite things ever, which is to lower that and expose the concrete of the lagoon. This would have to have an animal in it. Yes, we don't charge people to look at water. Pfft, Jesus, I am not functioning properly. Okay. There we go. She got there in the end. Controversially, I'm considering putting something in here other than Ichthyosaurus. I think Plesio is pretty small as well. I think that should be the one. Like, we could do Ichthyosaurus. You know what? Maybe I should just stop talking. We could do Ichthyosaurus as well. No. Are we gonna have to keep count how often I click on the wrong thing today? Fish. That's the wrong fish. If you were keeping score, tally it up. Oh, if you were keeping count, that's another misclick. Like, my hand-eye coordination today is not good. My vocabulary also not good. I mean, come on. It's a pretty big lagoon. And it's super... You know what? I'm gonna give myself a pass on this one. There, and then what I had in mind was lower this. There, and then we smooth it over here. And we smooth it over there. And then the other idea I had was... my beloved, where are you? There. Oh, Bunny, that was an impressive jump. Well done. And then we flip it. Just so you get the effect from both sides, you know? You paid a lot of money to come into this park. You want to get the effect from both sides. My God, look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Like, for someone who plays this game unmodded and has to deal with all of these hitboxes, that, like, that's not making it inappropriate. Anyway. And then the other idea I had... Oh, I did something wrong. Oh, dang, I did something wrong. It needs more space. Oh, I just spent all of that work getting them, like, perfectly placed. Okay, he doesn't turn it. That's good. That's good. Beautiful. Oh, I thought he would, like, auto-rotate it back to the default rotation. Perfect. Game, sometimes I just love you so much, and I feel like you love me back, and those are just really special moments for me. There. Yeah, no, definitely, okay. Now, how am I gonna finagle this? Probably just like that. Ooh, yeah. Oh, maybe I should do both of these with, like, the opening in it. There, one, and... we're gonna be adding, like, other types of foliage to that to make it look more natural. That's all gonna be a-okay. Okay, so smooth that out so it's like a more pedestrian-friendly ramp. Here I think we're gonna go for, like, a food court sort of area. Just tons and tons of shops. Actually, we should move over to the Pimp My Park part of this of this video, which is, you know, for example, you know, we made this. I'm pretty happy with this entry section, but now that we have the new pieces, it could really benefit from, I think, a Mr. DNA. Maybe like a little asymmetrical, like over there, like, hi folks, I'm just greeting you to the park. Whoa. Oh, that would have been good. Pimp my park. Yeah. I like it, not gonna lie. Let's bring the tables back here, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch them out with the older ones. older ones, newer ones. It kind of depends on how you want to look at it. And then randomly add one parasol. Let the people fight over the parasol. And then I think it could be cute over here. We have like this little weird area. So let's pretend that maybe, where is it? It's gonna be over here. That is like a little photo op. You could take a selfie with a rock. I came to a dinosaur park and I took a selfie with a rock. This feels a little empty. Well, no. It's probably for the best that they decided not to make this placeable. I mean, the T-Rex totally makes sense, right? Because the T-Rex is over here. Would it make sense elsewhere? I guess technically here as well. But no, I like it over here because we didn't do much with this. This whole Pimp My Park section was taking way too long. I'm just gonna show you. I added a rock with some burbs in front of it over there. And then I spent a really long time, like, morally questioning if I wanted to replace the bunker with the maintenance shed. Why does it say Velociraptor? Oh my god, he's inside the maintenance shed! No. By popular demand, I replaced the bunker with the maintenance shed from the new decorations pack there. And I think I want to turn these side bits just into like cute little gardens or something like that. And then, yeah, over here, we're gonna do guest stuff. Now, obviously, we have this pretty awesome view over here. I always make the benefit of views in my park. And that's pretty cool, seeing the zipliners coming by. It's almost as if I know this game. I can't be saying that in a video where I've literally misclicked like 34 times at this point. There, lovely. So we've created like a beautiful little vista point. You can also chuck a building over there. Again, we're going for like this food court kind of idea. Amazing. I can do this. Oh. Oh, that was the saddest oh to have ever owed. I was gonna say I can do that more prettily. Okay, so we'll do like a little and a little and then we'll curve them like that. Maybe use like a different color in between. Make it a little bit more funky. There, and we're just hiding the unevenness of the path. Oh my god. Plants are so useful. I think, look, you're gonna be seeing me use this thing a lot, but you know, Papaya, our T-Rex, is the mascot of this park. I feel like this skeleton would just make sense to put at several points in the park, like in honor of the park mascot. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's cool. Oh, I love this tree so much. Look at, there's, I can't deal with it. What is happening? Remember a couple of minutes ago where I was concerned that they wouldn't do this and now it's like an absolute spree killing? What? Oh my god! What? No, what the I've never seen that anime. Did he just do a freaking roll? Oh, we gotta see that again. We gotta slow-mo that. Shh. Contain yourself. It's for science, I'm sorry. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh my god, he rolls over. Oh my god! It's an absolute massacre! Why don't they eat the bodies of the goats that the other Pteranodon have killed? Anyway, we're gonna move on. We're gonna just keep on building as if nothing happened. I'm sorry. If I'm quiet, it's because I'm replaying that goat kill animation in my head. This mural is too beautiful, okay? It is so beautiful. I'm gonna use two. You cannot put such a beautiful thing in this game and then expect me to have any semblance of self-preserve. That's a fire hazard if I ever saw one. Maybe I should rethink that. Or maybe not. You know what? No. There you go. It's fine. Like, it's so beautiful. Okay, now we gotta do this. Otherwise, 100% people would just roll themselves down this hill. Let's be honest. We know humans. Regretfully. Whee! Oh my god, it's so fast. Oh! Hide, Billy, hide! Oh! Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. You want to sit on the rock? No, you just want to kill some more goats? Understandable. Have a good day. I'm surprised I can place these without like getting a pteranodon in the way notification. Oh, I shouldn't fill this up because I feel like it's gonna get in the way of the animation. Oh, I do love that he's sitting on that rock right there. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Like, and I feel like with just a teeny tiny bit of imagination, you can pretend that that is a walkway for our guests to walk through, right? Because they're so close together, you can barely see that it's not actually what we're pretending that it is. Welcome back to Mini Nublar in Jurassic World Evolution 2, and you can see that a lot of the... Holy heck. What we're gonna do in this episode, you see this long bit that sort of curves around this mountain. We're gonna turn that into a very long tour, and the tour is gonna have a mix of herbivores and carnivores, but they will be separated, as you will see shortly. I think first we should sort of fix the side of the mountain a little bit, if we can. You know, get like make it a little bit more natural. Again, if we can. Oh god, that's the wrong way. Actually, that kind of works. That kind of works. Okay. This was suggested a while ago to do something with like an abandoned campsite, taking inspiration from Battle at Big Rock with the Allosaurus, and I thought that was pretty cool. So we're gonna have like a long tour, and it's gonna take the people by a abandoned campsite where Allosaurs are walking around, but it's also just gonna have herbivores and be nice and lovely. This is smaller than I thought. That's what she said. So it's gonna start over here. So this would be a good shape for like a little bit of a guest section, I guess, like in front of it. And it's gonna go all the way around here. I'll take the tour up the hill. We'll give it a ramp. By the way, I literally just woke up. So if I sound a little bit weird, you know, weirder than usual, that's the reason. And the reason I have to do this after literally just waking up is because it's so hot. And that's not really the issue for recording. The issue for recording is the air conditioning. It's kind of noisy. Like, I've literally been awake for 10 minutes. Oh god, I said hello to the rabbits, like, good morning, mommy's gonna work now. This is the bigger section though, so I think this should be our Allosaurus, just like smack in the middle. It's not very big. This is smaller than I anticipated. That's the second time I made that joke. The other thing I could do is just split the exhibit in half. Have like the first half be herbivores and the second half, I think that's how we should do it. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it like that. Now, for the herbivore part, you know, the tour can just like, you know, weave all the way through and, you know, get people up close with the animals. Obviously, we're not going to do that for the Allosaurus part, because that's, you know, we're going for like a little bit of realism. Not too much, mind you. Not too much. I'm still me. Not too much. Just a little bit. Actually, I think my mouse is just dying. I think the battery's empty. I am a professional. Alright, so to help with this, we're gonna make it night. So I can see the track. Invisible fencing, obviously. Here we go. Okay, now, again, this is an annoying process. It was much easier in the first game, because in the first game, we didn't have the feature of the fence being able to snap to the tour track, right? We didn't have that. Oh, remember the dark ages of Jurassic World Evolution 1. I still love that game, but it was pretty dark at times. It was pretty grim. So yeah, this was one of the things that was a lot more fun to do in the first game. But, you know, if you just take a deep breath and take another deep breath. I don't actually want to, like, I'm putting it into the water a little bit, just to hide it a bit, but I don't want the dinosaurs to come down here to drink. Actually, didn't we turn that off? I think, no, we turned off in a different park, I think. They're all starting to blend together. I built so many parks. By the way, I build parks every Saturday live, right here on YouTube. Subscribe. Sorry, I just woke up. Yeah. You want them, as they drive over here, they sort of drive into the unknown. They're not gonna see anything for a bit. So this is all just gonna be like dense foliage, these rocks. They're not gonna know what hit them. Maybe do something cool over here? I don't know, let's do something cool. Let's do something decorated. Here, like what if we just give it like a... I don't know, I'm thinking about things. It happens sometimes. I wish we just had signs for like every animal in the game. I guess this one works. That's not too bad. I think it's supposed to be a Metri skull, but hold on, does it say that? No, it just says carnivore marker. I mean, it's a carnivore marker, so... Yeah, I mean, my favorite tree coming through in a clutch to add to that spooky feeling. Ooh. Because I really want people to have like a little bit of a mysterious, almost claustrophobic feeling, not knowing what's going on around them, what's around the river bend. And then it's just like, wow, surprise, Allosaurus. Well, not surprise, I mean, we did literally just announce it. And this is, can you believe it? This is the 10th week. This is the 10th episode, 1 episode a week. And we still have a long way to go. Oh my god. But I'm really enjoying this park build. For the spoopy feeling. I need to stop saying stupid stuff like that. Who am I kidding? As if I could. As if this is all voluntary, please. Let me actually do a little of a test walk. Oh, I like that. And then you come through here and it's like, whoa, Allosaurus. So we're just gonna make like a circle. This would be our fire pit. There, beautiful fire pits. I would be tempted. There's no way we can make that work though. Because here, oh, yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay. And then with the decorations, we grab these white tents. Now, if you look into them, you will see like just supplies stuff, which isn't necessarily ideal. You know, a campsite needs a toilet. There's trash at campsites. There just is. Here, because I think it should have something like that. Just like a... This is where people would bring their camp trash. There, like, box in a little bit. So you, like, approach it from the other side. I think, actually, that this is where we should... There they are. I think we should use these guys. Here we go. Oh, I mean, duh! For the herb for habitat, we should use Pseudoceratops. Alright, here we go. Let's see if this one will destroy me some jeeps. I mean, I need a log. Duh. There, beautiful. I want my people to enjoy the sight of a log. Alright, here you go. Fulfill thine destiny. How do you honk? Like that? Come on then, buddy. Isn't that annoying? Don't you want to just F me up? Yes, yes, keep doing that, keep doing that, keep doing that. You're doing great, honey. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Whoa, cool picture time. That's not what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to be inside of this area, you idiot. Alright, so I see a fault in my plan here. That can work. There, this is something we need to do for a little bit. I can't have him push the jeeps out of the area. Alright, yeah, this is just gonna take a while. Okay, let's just focus on the habitat. Well, don't just look at him. let's piss him off. Woo! Whoa! Dude, this guy in the back! This guy in the back is Spider-Man! Peter Parker is a park employee! Alright, I think I need to release them. Alright, so there you go. And this, the rest will replace. Yay! They're abandoned! Yes! Now, the placement isn't perfect. And also, they're just gonna keep moving them around. But alright. Okay, so that's actually only one half of this tour. We have the other half of the tour. Yeah, food is a thing here. Yeah, it is. I knew that. I keep forgetting, I'm sorry. I've played this game without food needs turned on for so long that I keep forgetting. I just keep forgetting. Yeah. Nom. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Well done. All right, so let's like update our coastline. So we're gonna give it a sandy beach. The brown is just from like when we first started. That's like my outline of the island. You guys have seen the first episode. The first episode was the most popular of this series. You've seen it. You know. Like for other parts of the island, I was gonna do it here. Like I just now stopped myself short. We can also do that and actually incorporate the beach. We've done that a little bit here as well, but this is going to be an exhibit. Actually, I think I should just like do that somewhere. How about at the point? There, the point is just going to be at sea level. I don't know yet what we're going to do with the point. I don't know what the point of the point is. But it's gonna be at sea level. I've been recording for over an hour already. How is this possible? Yeah, wow, I'm really not gonna have any time to work on a guest section in this episode. Wasn't that last time as well, where we did this? I feel like, honestly, I think I can get away with, like, doing some of the work in between episodes. Because, again, it's episode 10, guys. I won't skip all of the guesswork, obviously. But yeah, it needs to fit in with, like, the theme of the episode. And obviously, I need to have time. Alright, that's gonna be it for this week's episode. Oh, God, I didn't mean to do that. Hey, Spinosaurus is our star dinosaur. Which one, though? You didn't specify. We have 3. Because I'm a gluttonous person. We have an escaped dinosaur. Hold on, what's going on? How did you get out? Oh my god, hold on. That's the second time these guys gotten out. Okay, I'm actually gonna be working on this area right here, the point of Nublar, and we're gonna be turning this into a, like, little mini Malta on mini Nublar. Oh my god, the titles write themselves. I am a poetic genius. Shakespeare has been real quiet since I just said that. So yeah, I'm gonna make a Malta, and the idea here is that it's sort of like, you know, like a little coastal city. So we're gonna go for a lot of buildings, like an obnoxious amount of buildings, honestly. And then, like, yeah, there's gonna be streets where our guests can walk, but then when they take a side street, they happen upon what's an exhibit, but the exhibit is sort of just made to look like it's part of the actual city. So it seems like the dinosaurs are walking around freely, but they're not, except for this velociraptor right here. Well, she's not walking anymore, that's for sure. Let's get this one. No, that's not it. Transport there. You go back in here now, lovely. Okay. Okay, so for the rest of this video, we're gonna have to do it a little bit differently. I've turned it into a speed build, and this was necessary because I actually spent 2 hours building this mini Malta on mini Nublar. So we're starting with the street layout, the path layout, and like my beginning point here was a literal public square, and from there off we're gonna branch in 4 different directions. The layout is pretty random. I'm mixing a lot of the different path colors together. That might be one of the things that the path purists among us won't appreciate. I just felt like that worked really well with the whole city feel, to mix up the colors. We had a little bit of an issue where, for some reason, the pteranodons were a threat to guests. I don't know what happened there. It's not important. We are gonna just pretend that for the park's function, the hotel is actually something else, because I don't necessarily think it makes sense to have hotels this deep into the park. Imagine having to drag your suitcase all the way over there. there. This is going to be the aviary for the Dimorphodon. Really what I went with, since we already have Allosaurus and Carnotaurus in the park, I was just thinking back about the other creatures that we saw in the Malta scene. And of course in the Black Market scene we saw several creatures, but the standouts for me were Lystrosaurus and Stygimoloch. So those are the two other additions alongside Atrociraptor that's gonna make it into this mini Malta. Now I'm just like playing around with these buildings, which again don't have a guest function, but we're gonna pretend that there's something else. Just as the hotel is something other than a hotel, the staff center is gonna be something other than a staff center, because really those are just the best buildings. The hotel, the staff center, which I just realized I haven't actually used that much, and the bunker. Those are like the best buildings for that Malta look. Okay, so really the whole process here is just to place a lot of buildings because, you know, we're going for that city feel. Now, I did leave this random cross walk. What do you even call it? It has no function anymore. It just looks completely illogical there, but I like that it was just something different, so that's why I kept it there. A little bit of visual interest, I guess. My pathwork in this one is quite different from usual, but I'm telling you, it worked out so well in the end. I will admit that as I was like placing all of these buildings, I was getting like a little worried, but when I started adding in the decorations, like at the last step, obviously, it all came together and I feel like it really worked out so well. And this is not me patting myself on the back. This is like I'm not trying to convey to you that sometimes you really have to trust the process. You really just have to stick with it. You might second guess your best laid plans, but in the end, you can really pull everything together. So I'm really excited about like the end result that was achieved here. Oh, a beautiful moment is about to happen. Hold on, when is it gonna happen? Oh my god. I was like, is this it? Is this it? Hold on. Hold, please. Here! Oh, that fits so well. Okay, so this street that I'm building right here is gonna be like the main street where the Atrociraptors are gonna be walking around. And, so, like, the path isn't connected to the guest path over there, so we could still, like, fit the invisible fencing through there. And the idea here is that, you know, as guests walk down that curved path, when they look to their right, they look down this main street, and then they might catch a glimpse of the Atrociraptor walking around over there, which I thought was just really cool, because I imagine that it would feel very immersive, because the streets that are part of the habitat look exactly the same as the streets that you're walking on as a guest. So I think that worked out really, really well. It's funny to watch me struggle. Okay, so those are the two entrance points to this whole section. I did want to have like two paths connecting into the rest of the park instead of just one, so that people wouldn't have to double back the whole way. And this is one of the little alleyways that, you know, people would sneak in between the buildings. And in this instance, there's just a viewing gallery there that looks down the entire length of what's going to be the Stygimoloch habitat. This is going to be the Lystrosaurus habitat that we're looking in right now. So that street is all for the Lystrosaurus. Now, I closed off the beach section. I'm actually going to change that later on. So I'm giving the Lystrosaurus like a little bit of access behind the building, so their habitat is bigger and also a little bit more natural than just like the streets of shopping amenities and stuff like that. But yeah, that's really cool. So our guests can stand like on either end of that street, but they can't walk along the street because it is a habitat. Anyway, the part of the build that is just me placing a lot of buildings has finally come to an end. I can start with the decorations and also, not unimportantly, actually turning the areas into functional animal enclosures, and to ensure that, you know, the Atrociraptors, they stay in their own designated streets and don't wander out into the streets where our guests are actually going to be walking. So the invisible fence I hide in the shallows of the quote-unquote oceans. It's kind of weird that we have to hide invisible fencing, but there you have it. But yeah, this part of the build is just me defining what's going to be the 3 dinosaur habitats. So this is going to be for the Atrociraptor. The Atrociraptor habitat is basically the entire point, like the sharp point of Nublar is all going to be Atrociraptor habitat. And of course we have the habitat for the Lycosaurus and the Stygimoloch as well. So what I'm working on right now, this is like our little beach section. Why did I say like beach section? So I placed another hotel there because they're just my favorite building. Yeah, this is just where our guests can come and work on their tan because, you know, that's why you come to a dinosaur park. To work on your tan. They're basically pre-roasting themselves before feeding themselves to the dinosaurs. That just got really dark. I definitely could have used this like beach section to house another animal. That's totally something that you can do if you're gonna go for a look like this. But I personally felt that it was just really important to make space for city elements like this. You know, Malta / Mediterranean / coastal city elements, which would be an access area to the beach for the residents of the city. The rest of the build is really focused on placing a lot of decorations. Obviously, I'm using the Malta decorations most of all. The wall pieces and the towers are super useful in giving the buildings more of that Malta look, hiding the back of the buildings, which is something that I always do. I think that's super important. You don't want your guests to be looking at literal trash cans and just like the utility area behind buildings. Lining the paths, adding a lot of planters as well to add more green and make it look decorated and more like a city and also more like a theme park. Like those two have quite a bit in common in like the amount of detail that there is to the streets that you navigate as you go through them. I'm adding like these biosyn lights as street lights, which I think work really well. I think they really have that look, and again, it's just part of selling the idea that it's all supposed to be like a miniature city. What I'm doing right here is I'm adding a little plaza inside of what is going to be the Atrociraptor habitat, and this just really blurs the line between what is actual guest area where people can walk and what is part of the city where our dinosaurs are quote-unquote free roaming. Like, it really adds to the illusion to have tables and chairs and path and planters and fountains in the area where the dinosaurs are walking. Okay, so we're really like in the final phase of this build, which is adding, you know, the final foliage details and stuff like that. If you're still watching the video at this point, thank you very much. I appreciate you. You're a legend. I am really happy about how this build turned out. Again, I've said this before, it definitely was worth the time and effort that I put into it, and I'm really looking forward to doing like the full showcase of Mini Nublar. I have a feeling that this might be my favorite area of the park. So yeah, that's gonna be fun to tour this when this park is finally finished. It's gonna take a while to finish it though, even though this episode does make good progress. Like, this is a pretty substantial part of the island that I've covered with like buildings and path and like incorporate it into the park. So yeah, we got a lot of work done in this episode, but there's still plenty of episodes left for Mini Nublar before it's time for the final tour. Okay, so we've actually arrived at one of the final parts of this build, which is another beach section, but this time it's like half beach, half paved area, but it's all for the Atrociraptors. But again, we're just using it as another example to blur the lines between what is guest appropriate and what is actual dinosaur habitat. And stuff like, you know, the parasols and the tables and chairs really help with that illusion. And we're just getting like into the final bits of the build, which is just a little bit of foliage at the edge, some grass in what is going to be the Stygimoloch habitat, and then the very last part, which is something I always hate doing, but it was so important for this one. It is to customize the buildings. So I went with that entrance style because I felt like it's the most European looking. I went with the Jurassic World building style so we could change the color as opposed to just having a lot of concrete. And then all of the buildings in Mini Malta, they have like, you know, different roof decorations, different ground decorations, different signage and all of that. And for the colors, I'm just using the color wheel to match it to the Malta wall pieces as best as I possibly could. And whoop. I also added, you know, extra ones with just the regular skins because it's a pretty big habitat. Like, all right, if I do it like that, there. Oh, hold on. There, see, you can see how big the habitat actually is. So we needed more individuals to really fill out the space, but I'm so happy with how this turned out. I'm sorry about turning it into a speed build. I hope that you enjoyed the video regardless. If you did, please give it a like, and I promise that future episodes will just return to the regular building style. By the way, of course, like a full tour of all of this, the whole park will happen when the park is finished, so, you know. So I'm not gonna take us through the streets or anything. We're going to be decorating the interior and exterior of what is going to be a Mosasaurus lagoon. Now, I didn't include the actual building of this lagoon in the video. I was just playing around with lagoon shapes and trying to figure out how I wanted it. And to be perfectly honest, once I got to this shape, I quite liked how it fit into the island overall. And I didn't want to delete it and then just like start over and record it for you guys, because that felt kind of weird. Now, what I'm gonna be adding, let me like angle this, and we're gonna take it all the way across. So I'm using quite a few zip lines in this park build, actually. That's interesting. I'm having a hold on, but we can easily move this. Okay, so I'm having second thoughts about the exact placement. You can see here, you can see that he sort of like dips down. You don't want that. He's gonna mess with the terrain if you do that. So we're gonna put it over there. And then I guess I'll move it again. No, don't. Oh my god. No, don't ever do that. Oh my god, look at this abomination. What is this? This, like, I don't know. This gives me anxiety just looking at that. Ew, get it away from me. What I wanted to do was actually get it closer to this thing over here. Yeah. Stop it with your terrain constraints. Okay, sort of like that. And what... I feel like this is still very tall. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm just sort of gonna blend it a little bit with this super tall tree. There. Well, it's a little better. I just don't like how much they pop up. Maybe we should put it over here. Maybe that needs to be a thing. Okay. Yeah, we just want a teeny tiny tower. Teeny tiny tower. There you go. And then of course we would have the feeders. Where are the I always forget where the feeders are. Why is, hold on. Wait, but make it make sense. Why is this one randomly obstructed? That makes no sense. Okay, we'll do this one then. Look how close the line is to that. That's cool. What I want to do. So this is gonna, like this upper area over here, I think there's gonna be like a little, there, like another little exhibit like this. It's a potato. You know how I feel about potatoes.
Potatoes.
And potato habitats. They're good on both accounts. And around it is gonna be guest section. This isn't doing much. You know what? Hold on. There, around it is gonna be guest section. Oh, that looks hideous. Obviously, I want to do something over here with an attraction. I always... Okay, I gotta be honest here. I thought I would be putting one of these here. It don't work like that. So let me work around it. We're gonna do that and maybe another tower. Maybe another tower is fun. Oh my god, yes, I would totally come up here and everyone would be like, do you see the Mosasaurus? Do you see the Mosasaurus? And I would just be here with like my teeny tiny binoculars or something. Just watching guests zip on by and... Totally not keeping my fingers crossed that someone would fall off the seat. No, totally not. I wouldn't. Now there's one more thing I want to add, and I haven't really left myself the space for that. And that is a hatchery. And not only do we need a hatchery, I want a hatchery. I think we're gonna go for this one. It has a cute little tower. I like that. Oh, would it fit? I mean, I think that's pretty decent. Let's go for that. because I want to turn this into an attraction. I've done this in previous videos, and I'm going to do it again, because we have these drones, right? So what I enjoy pretending... What's down? I'm guessing control? Yeah, there you go. All right. Just like the aisle. So what I've pretended before is that guests can actually go into the hatchery, and it's like a VR attraction where they put on a VR headset and they take control. Maybe it's not technically VR because, well, yeah, sort of. Yeah, a VR headset. They take control of this little drone and they like just operate it as it goes through the lagoon. And I want to turn that into like a mini game almost, where they have to like maybe follow a track of lights through the lagoon and discover things along the way, like discover, I don't know, those thermal vents, and then a sunken boat, and then a cage, and then the Indominus Rex skeleton. And in the meantime, they might also come across the Mosasaurus. So yeah, that's the idea. I actually feel like I should put something else in this habitat as well. Probably the Ichthyosaurus. I feel like we could get away with pretending that the Ichthyosaurs are too fast for the Mosasaurus to hunt. I mean, I go in here, but does it really matter? I don't think it does. Mosa has such bad skins. It's not even funny. Let's... you know what? Sure. There. This might be the first time ever that I'm creating a triangular design. So, I don't know. Enjoy it. Enjoy this unique experience. I'm like a trailblazer right now. Well, I might as well show you how you would do it if you don't want the clipping. And that is to go out of this corner several times. Basically, like, just taking up the entire corner. There, and that's literally just how you, like, prevent the clipping from that. Is it annoying? Yes. Yes, it is. Is this the things we do for art? No, because this isn't art. But you know what I mean. Oh, I'm in a weird mood. Let me time-lapse it. You don't need to be here for this. I will spare you. You better give me a like for sparing you. That sounds like something serial killers say. What the heck, man?
It puts the lotion in the basket, or else it gets the hose again. It gives a like on the video, or else it has to
sit here and watch me fill up this path. Alright, here we go. Oh, I don't like this part, if I'm like completely honest. I don't know why. I don't really like working underwater. From here, we're gonna create like a track basically, and I think what I should do is use the lights to do that. I'm gonna be placing so much of these here. This would like sort of just guide you through the entire freaking lagoon. And I'm just making like the track quote unquote first, and then we're gonna add stuff to it, like stuff for them to discover. Where am I? Hold on, let me check where I am. Yeah, okay, no, I'm pretty much where I thought it was. That's good. That doesn't always happen. Oh my god, can you imagine if we could like change the water depth? Oh. No, but this is actually kind of cool. Yeah. Wait, this is as low as I can go? Okay. Here, and then you would follow the lights. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I would totally want to do this. I mean, I'm doing it right now, and it's not even VR, and it's not even, like, in a real Mosasaurus lagoon. Oh, it's getting a little confusing over here? It's fine. People can figure it out. People are smarter than me. They can figure this stuff out. Okay, so obviously, like, one of the main things to end with is gonna be the Indominus Rex skeleton. So we're gonna put that right over here. Another thing is, I think, a couple of sunken boats. Let's put those over here. So this is where we would have a couple of sunken boats. I'm just placing the first one as like a guide. And then over here by the viewing gallery. Very spooky. And then the earliest thing that you discover is just, you know, some bubbles, some vents. Where are the vents? Where are the vents? What is a vent? Are you a vent? Are you a vent? Who is a vent? This is a vent. There you go. Now, ooh, it's getting spooky. Sorry. Oh, what just happened? Hold on. I cheated the system. I don't know how I did that. I cannot replicate it, but there you go. Oh, this is like proper spooky for people to uncover. Like, oh my god. What? I thought maybe that could like, sort of just shove something. I don't know. I mean, we did something. We might as well make use of it. There. I think I should stop with the cages, maybe. You know what? No. One more. Actually, one more on top of that. There. And then over here, we have like our shipwrecks. So we're just going to use an obnoxious amount of these boats. Look how you can clip these. What is going on? I'm gonna... Oh god! What? Ha! I was like, get it away from me! It's honestly mental that this is like the tallest thing that we can put in these ridiculously deep lagoons. Like, that's... I don't even want to think about it, so I wouldn't encourage you to think about it either, because it makes me a little mad. This is sort of the experience that we've created, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Each section has more or less its own coloration. You know, at the start it was pinks and purples, a little bit of blue. Over here we have orange. You know, not the lights that we're following, not the tracks, but like the lights that illuminate the objects here. So this is orange, and then the boat section is going to be blue. Dubba-dee. This thing is slow. Hang in there, folks, hang in there. We're almost there. So here you go, we're in the blue boat section, and then our folks would navigate like, oh, I accidentally made that one blue. And you can already see in the distance the red, which is the finale where we have our spooky skeleton graveyard. There we go. With a little bit of orange, which looks a little bit yellow, but that's supposed to be orange to sort of brighten it up a little bit because the reds don't shine very far. Look how funny that looks! Okay, the way I'm mixing up path colors is starting to feel very strange, but I think that once you add like all of the decorations in and stuff, it starts to feel less weird. Like over here, you know, I'm switching it up a lot, but with all of the decorations added in, and especially you have to keep reminding yourself, like, look at it from the ground perspective, right? You're not a helicopter flying over your park. You're a guest and you're exploring it this way, and then it actually looks really good to have all of these different colors mixed together. So yeah, this is a pretty like dedicated Mosasaurus area. So the perfect opportunity to use, where are you? There, these flags, which don't match the aesthetic of this wall in the slightest. We're gonna use it anyway. There, oh man, these wall pieces, they're not perfect. Like, I think they would have been much better without those weird angles on it, but they are very good for like creating dedicated sections like that. For adding all of the details, I did decide to speed things up again because this has turned out to be quite a beefy episode already. And I don't know why, but I keep biting off more than I can chew for these episodes. I think it's because I'm just having such a good time with the build and getting so inspired, and I think that's the culprit here, and me adding just detail after detail after detail. But yeah, I'm having fun with it, and I hope you are too. If you are, please consider giving the video a like, especially this one. Look, I gotta say this. I basically had to edit this twice because the Premiere Pro file got corrupted, and I had to start over because I couldn't do anything. My route just made a noise, sorry. So yeah, I hauled butt to be able to get this out. So I would appreciate a little bit of mental support because I am exhausted. The next episodes are going to fulfill very popular requests. We're finally going to be turning this into Baryonyx Bay, and I will also be giving into the many many requests to include something Camp Cretaceous inspired, so I will be creating like the peaceful watering hole with a mix of species. For this video, we're gonna be I'm just flying around aimlessly, I don't know what I'm doing. We're gonna be building something inspired by the Camp Cretaceous watering hole. Not here though. No, this is gonna be Baryonyx Bay. No, we're gonna put the watering hole... close my eyes, poop, there. No, we'll figure it out, I'm gonna do something special with the watering hole though. Watering hole, the more I say it, the more weird it sounds, but expect to hear it a lot in this video. I'm gonna curve the path, kind of like a sickle maybe? That's not path. You would think I would know where the path is. You would be wrong. I barely know this game, to be honest. Hardly ever play it. Like that looks like Captain Hook's hook. I was like, what's the word? Well, it's kind of in the name, isn't it? You can call me Captain Obvious. Actually, you can call me Captain Oblivious, but that's neither here nor there. I just had an idea. She's literally just had an idea. And the idea is, what if we put this on like different levels? Oh, I do like that. Okay, I'm gonna have to extend it though. I need a little bit more space to make that work. Kinda? Let's lower it one more. I kinda like that. Okay, so I'm sticking with it. We have just enough space in between to make that fit. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And now if you walk here, you can sort of look over people and further into the exhibit. All right, so we're just going around. And now for the water. Let's see. Ah, we can still get it really close, so that's good. All right, yeah. In Camp Cretaceous, the whole idea of the watering hole is that, oh, the animals come together in peace. There's like this truce. It's like it's Mowgli all over again. And they cohabitate peacefully. Nobody gets snacked on. It's all good. We're not going to do that in this park. This park is very much operating under the realistic assumption that if you put carnivores and herbivores together, someone is going to draw the short stick. Now, it might not always be the herbivore, but the odds are not in its favor. So, what this park does... Sorry. One of my rabbits scared the bejesus out of my other rabbits. Oh my god. Anyway. God, wow. The train of thought has left the station. Let me reel it back in. Hold on. What we're gonna do in this park is we're gonna separate carnivore and herbivore with invisible fencing, but because it's in the water, it's kind of creating this illusion that they are cohabitating peacefully. I thought that was a pretty fun way to incorporate this. You can barely see it. You can see it a little bit more from the top. But if we put some rocks in front of here, it's gonna be fine. Same as over here. That has turned out really, really, really small. So I'm gonna extend it a little bit by just curving this. Let me redo this entire thing, actually. I think it's also just gonna help giving it a little bit more of a weirder natural shape. I think that's fine. Okay, so that's gonna be the Ceratosaurus side, and then this is gonna be the herbivore side, and that's gonna get a little bit more space. It is pretty small, so my initial plan for the herbivore enclosure was gonna be Sinoceratops, Uranosaurus, Kentrosaurus, and Memenchi. Now you might be thinking, Evo, those are not the species that we see in the Camp Cretaceous watering hole. Correct! The Camp Cretaceous watering hole includes Brachiosaurus, Parasaurolophus. Those species are already in the park. I don't feel like doubling up on the species is gonna be a good idea. I don't think that's interesting. So that's why I was considering Memenchi. I think I should just pull it back because I do really like the idea of having another sauropod. So maybe I just need to be flexible with this thing. Oh, an Ankylosaurus. I also wanted to add Ankylosaurus. So many ideas. That's pretty small for sauropods though, isn't it? Alright, I feel like I need to let go of the whole sauropod thing. Just let it go. We'll fit sauropods in somewhere else. All of this concrete, we're gonna add another viewing opportunity to it. Fret not. It looks like a camel toe. Let's not focus on that. There you go. 2 windows. Beautiful. Like my eyes. Windows into my soul. What the windows into my soul would actually see. Okay, enough of that. Come on now. Come on now. Get to work, Evo. Get to work. There. That's pretty neat. I like that. Alright, so the illusion that we are going for here. Let's put a rock in front of this. I am not looking at like a reference image or anything like that. I'm not recreating anything. We're just taking inspiration, which has been the case for this entire build. If that upsets you, call 0800, make your own mini Nublar. Okay, enough of the rocks, enough of the rocks. Let me first grab the one, the only fluffy bush. Yeah, come on, that. Yes. Oh, so fluffy, so bush. Turn around every now and then. Sorry. I think this is okay. I think that's pretty good. It's pretty decent. Just nod along. Are you nodding? Okay. As far as textures go, I think that's kind of, at least it's interesting. You know, something's happening. It looks like I spent some thought on it, which I didn't. But nobody needs to know. It makes me so unspeakably angry that you can't place this thing in water. Honestly. Like, we can put this in water. Why can't we put a Spinosaurus skeleton in water? Come on. Excuse me while I place an obnoxious amount of stupidity barriers. Like, really, in terms of the habitat, there's not that much to do here, because I want to keep it mostly open. I'm gonna attach a viewing thing over here. Here, let's get a little funky with it. Let's get a little interesting. Why you gotta do the clipping thing, man? Why you gotta be like that? Better, thank you. I know how we can cover that up. Planters to the rescue. I think I saw a mosasaur's tail pop out of the lagoon there. Anyway, here we go. My savior, my knight in shining armor. You know, until someone comes at him with shears. And then, of course, we chuck in the banana plants to remind ourselves that, oh yeah, oh, it's supposed to be tropical. Sure. These are not the taiga bushes you're looking for. Banana plants as a distraction tactic. No, don't worry. You're still on a tropical island. Fret not. Don't be alarmed. This is just gonna be a lot of open space, I guess. I'm gonna add like some sort of like veins of this foliage type. I'm not gonna chuck the full area full of foliage. And then mix it up with like maybe a little bit of path color. No, not path color, terrain color. Excuse me. And add like a little bit of unevenness to it, which really just helps make it look more natural, in my opinion. Honestly, that's a pretty good start. So let's start on our dinosaurs. So the carnivore is going to be Ceratosaurus, as inspired by that scene. The skin for the Cerato we don't really have in the game, so I'm gonna just take some liberty there. Okay, so this is my favorite Cerato skin because it's basically like a galaxy Cerato. It's probably not the best for what I'm going for, so I'm gonna go with this green one. Actually, let's do 2 green ones. So they look like they belong together, but they're not the exact same individual. For the herbivore side, definitely Sinoceratops. I know the alphabet. There you go. And I'm gonna do Ouranosaurus. We're gonna, of course, go for the, the 2015 variant. I had to think for a second there. And let's just go for this skin. I think this is the best skin for this variant anyway. The skins that they made for it are boring. My acting skills are top tier. And, let's chuck in A. Pierce. That sounds like it's his name. A. Pierce. I think I've been bamboozled. Shut up, I know the alphabet. I think I've been... Yeah, there you go, I've been bamboozled. Seriously, Frontier, please, just give us accurate skin previews in the hatchery. Since this is a Camp Cretaceous habitat, I'm gonna make Bumpy as well. I feel like that's a crap... Oh god, dinosaur threat. Oh, mommy needs to pay attention. Okay. Of course it's the raptor. Which species? A tiger raptor. Alright, where are you? Shoot her! Now I do want to add buildings over here, because I want guests to be using this specific path, you know, the top path. Now we need straight edges to be able to connect buildings to, right? So that's why I'm doing this. Did I forget? I tracked him and then I forgot to fly him in. Whoopsie! Why does this keep happening to me? Alright. Oh, that's adorable. I'm so easily pleased. This is gonna be our next exhibit and of course the next episode. So if you want to see that, consider subscribing to the channel and ringing the bell for notifications so you don't miss episodes of Mini Nublar or tips videos using weird glitches. Alright, okay, so obnoxious YouTuber mode deactivated. I say that, but let's be honest, it's the only mode I have. Dinosaur star. No, I did not! I did not literally forget about the raptor again. I did! I forgot again! No freaking way! Okay. Third time's a charm? Maybe? Yeah. Alright. Oh, the raptor, where is it? Oh no, oh god, oh grab it. Where is it? Oh god. Oh boy, there you go. I just realized something, like I literally just realized it. We had to turn off drinking for dinosaurs for one of the species. There you go. Alright. Oh my god, did you see that goat fly? We made the goat fly. I know what happened. I turned it off because of the Jailopterus. And I didn't realize that they didn't need water anyway. So yeah, once I turned it off for this one, I sort of just continued the build with that mindset that I didn't need to worry about, and yeah, sort of got completely lost in that. I think everyone has water now, though. Oh my god, they're drinking! Aww. Oh my god, yes, perfect! Well, almost perfect. Almost perfect. Here, now the Sinoceratops are leaving. Oh my god, this was suggested so long ago. I think it was episode 6 where I asked you guys, okay, what to do with this bit over here. And then Nostalgiasaurus commented, maybe a Baryonyx Bay. And you guys know how susceptible I am to alliteration. And Baryonyx Bay, mwah, chef's kiss, has a fantastic ring to it. So that's what we're gonna do. By the way, I clipped this comment 1 minute after it was posted. That's how on top I am of the comment. So yeah, leave a comment down below and you'll get a heart. So I already drew in a teeny tiny bit of what I had in mind. That being that I wanted to put viewing towers over here. Drop in that second tower. Oh my god, the 2 towers. It's Lord of the Rings. It's the most ambitious crossover ever.
You didn't say the magic word.
You shall not pass!
literally just forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something. Okay, so I made the dumb Lord of the Rings joke. God, what was I gonna say? I legitimately have no idea what I was gonna say. Maybe I'll edit it in if I remember it while looking back at the recording. Speaking of crossover. Yeah, hi, editing Evo here. Zip lines. I was thinking about adding zip lines. That's what crossover made me think of. And then I completely blanked. Zip lines will return later, but it'll be like a brand new idea that pops up in my brain. I don't even remember later on that I already had the idea and forgot about it. No, I don't know what's wrong with me. And I'm also gonna do a viewing opportunity here, so we get like that cool perspective of the towers over there at the edge. So we might as well make that like perfectly across from this one. I think that's gonna be quite pretty. So how about I just like extend it like that? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my lord, who was that? Was that you? I don't like the shape that the path is doing right now. It's a little weird. So what I think I'll do is put in a curve like that and then maybe a curve like this. Oh, that I don't hate. That's quite natural. That's quite natural. Again, I don't plan these things. I probably should. I acknowledge that. Alright, excuse you, that's not for bathing, that's for drinking. Icky! Nobody wants to drink your bathwater, okay? You're not a Twitch streamer. We are witnessing a truly unique occurrence on this channel. Well, not completely unique, but it is unusual. It is very unusual for this channel called Evolution Square to actually produce something square shaped. These don't count. I mean, square path. I don't hate that. Okay, now I have the peace of mind that allows me to work on the actual habitat. Okay, we're gonna put invisible fencing in the water over here. I want to keep this visually open, you know, so we can look into the distance and we're not gonna be looking at like this huge, ugly wall. There. And that's just gonna keep... Yep. That's how it needs to be. Hold on, did we see the side things? Barely. So if we cover that up, and you know how, you already know how. Look, if I'm ever accused of murder, this thing is how I will have hidden the body, okay? So look for this bush in real life. That's where I hid the body. I'm giving away all my tricks. Oh, I need to move this one. I did it for my short, but I forgot to save it. It needs to play. There you go. Amazing. This game is full of amazing glitches. I love it. Like, they couldn't have come up with a better thing if they had tried. An idea is brewing. I will say that. An idea is brewing. What if we added in a tour as well? You know, at least that way, there's something happening. It's special. It's unique. It's cool. Just agree with me, just for once. Just please. And I think since it is like a lagoon beachy kind of thing, I should go for the safari truck tour. Here, see, we're just gonna take it along the coast.
Curve too sharp.
Please. I've seen what the monorail can do. Oh, I really hate how far back this thing is. I think I need to take it forward. Oh, does that really make that big of a difference though, Evo? Does it really? Does it really? I know how to make it make sense though. So like if we take these away, you already know where this is going. It's because you guys know me so well. And also because I don't have an original bone in my body, I just do the same trick over and over and I just hope you won't notice. And now it's sort of like a funnel towards the attraction. Okay, I don't resent it with like every bone in my body the way I feel about myself, so I'm just gonna stick with that. Oh, self-deprecating humor that requires a therapist is my brand. Now, to spruce up our bay, I'm basically gonna do the same thing that I always do. I'm gonna make a couple of rock formations. I think I do want to keep this line quite open, so I'll put a rock formation on the coastline here. And next step would be to like fill that with foliage and stuff. And I think I also... Ooh, in front of this. Definitely in front of the towers. Alright, so we can see the island in the distance there. That will be deleted once this park build is done. So that's gonna just clean up the view from this gallery. So that's gonna be fine. Let's bring in some foliage over here. I'm just using these as my trusty filler bushes. And then I switch back to the tropical stuff. Hold on. I don't want to, like, block the sight of the thing that's happening in the water. You know? Where the baryonyx can have, like, his aerial moments. Don't want to deny him that. Oh yeah, oh no, because of the elevation. We're fine. We're fine. Okay, so the log is gonna be, like, kind of a driftwood kind of thing. God, these building constraints, man. That's quite a long way for driftwood to drift. But I guess that's the only choice that I have. Okay, so now the dilemma that I'm faced with is what to do over here, right? With this peninsula thing. Because I don't really think it has, like, reasonable amount of space to chuck an exhibit in here. I could... Oh, but that's already quite sizable. Okay, yeah, I think I like it over here. I think it's a good use of the space. And what's also fun is that I get to ask you guys for input. So which creature should we put in here? I am assuming that we're gonna go with a flying reptile, but you know, maybe not. Hold on, I want to test something here. Would you fit? Oh, is that funny? Is that... Maybe. Hold on, let me just check if I hate it, like, if I go into this thing. It might be kind of funny, actually. I hate how tall this thing is. I absolutely resent how tall this thing has to be. I guess I could switch them. Okay, so maybe if I just place them closer together. I like the idea. I just hate... Oh, I hate it so much when those zipline towers get ridiculously tall. That's better. It's a park, right? I shouldn't be opposed to a lot of... attractions. A lot of attractions that should be good. These hitboxes are an absolute monstrosity. Like, come on. It's one of those path things. It looks ridiculous from the top perspective. But from the ground perspective, like, the weird shape doesn't really matter. And it just follows the contours of the coastline quite nicely, which makes it feel natural. Okay, this is a weird glitch. When I click on stuff, like, nothing happens. Like, it's not giving me the menu. Oh no. Did I break it? Did I break it? I have added to this aviary the Geosternbergia as requested by Mariosaurus the First. And then we have a blobfish 1169, red-hearted and clipped within 12 seconds. Can I get a round of applause for that? Okay, I didn't do a swamp, but you can't have everything, okay? I'm not Santa Claus. Requested Proceratosaurus, so I added them in the aviary with Geosternbergia, and the theme is kind of like colorful Chris. I don't know, you gotta do something to branding, it's important. Flying Fly 1315, they requested to have like a lighthouse on the little offshore island. I did have to make the island a little bit bigger to actually be able to fit it here, but well, there it is, we have a lighthouse. And finally, Caden ASMR had a suggestion. What about a VIP section? And I think that would work absolutely perfectly for the Indominus Rex enclosure that we're going to be working on today. So the Indominus Rex enclosure is going to be part of a VIP section. And what I figured I would do is add like a little dock over here, because, you know, we are on the east side of the island, so we can make our little east dock. And then this is going to be like a high security Indominus Rex habitat. I like double lined it because it's going to be double fenced. I don't know what this is going to be. Some something interesting, no doubt. But this is what we're going to be working on today. Now, it's going to be a little bit different from usual because it's actually already really late at night and my neighbors are probably cursing my very existence right now. So I'm actually going to stop talking. I'm just gonna build quietly by myself, by my lonesome. It's very sad, honestly. Give it a like. Yay, this is my life now. And then I'll do the voiceover tomorrow and I'll be able to edit it.
The next day.
Good morning, everyone. Let's see what Evo was up to at 1 AM yesterday building this high security VIP section for the Indominus Rex. And of course, that starts with fencing. Just a lot of fencing. You know, I drew the like outline with sand at first to sort of start with, give myself a guideline. That is, after all, one of my tips, so I should probably use some of my own tips, shouldn't I? And now I'm just figuring out this section on the side. Down by the water, that's where our east dock is going to be, so the terrain slopes up there, so that's where there needs to be an opening so that the dock is actually available to well, to people. only people with the right authorization, of course. And then people enter like this corridor that runs along the diagonal side and the other straight side of the Indominus Rex enclosure. So you can sort of see where I'm going with that, right? So they enter between those like reinforcements over there. And then they go around, essentially. And also, what you might notice is that this footage is actually sped up by 200%, so it's twice the speed. And the reason I did that is so I could show you the entire build. So what I always do for these mini Nublar episodes is I record for an hour and then I cut it down into 30 minutes episodes. So that means literally half of the building process is cut down for, you know, to make it a more manageable, more scrumptious size as far as videos go. So what I did with this one, since, you know, I'm not building and talking at the same time, I'm doing this voiceover after the fact, I figured instead of cutting down the video, I would shrink it. So, you know, 1 hour is 30 minutes if I just speed it up by 200%. And we can see the entire process. Oh god, I just hit something. It probably deserved it. Rather than just double fencing it, I decided to approach it a little bit differently, a little bit more creatively, I would say. Also, by the way, you can see that the fence lining the path has a bit of a curve, and then I added a secondary fence on the interior, which is just straight. That's not really a security precaution, you know, it's only on one side after all, but it's more so on one side the fence could nicely follow the path, and on the other side the fence is straight, so it doesn't look weird from the inside of the enclosure. My notification blindness is going to have tragic results this time around. You can see at the top there, all of those notifications is what I've been dealing with. I've been covering them up for you guys. They really don't bother me. Like, I literally don't see them. I know that that's mind-boggling to other people, so let me just, boop, there you go. But yeah, because the notifications have stacked up as much as they have, I did not realize things were going wrong as they were starting to go wrong. So, yeah, we're gonna get back to that later. Don't worry about that. These openings right here are... Oh, there you go. Tragedy has happened. Rest in peace, my friend. Rest in peace. It had food, it had water, you know, all of the other dinosaurs, all of the other velociraptors in the habitat could just reach that, no problem. But this one was just like, welp, I guess this is it for me. I will not be confined in this enclosure for the rest of my life. Freedom! Freedom!
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
Anyway, if you like silly stuff like that, you might as well like the video, you might as well subscribe, because you know there's more of where that came from. Let's continue with the build. So the outline of the habitat is done at this point, right? We have the fencing, we have the path. I'm gonna change some things up in that regard a little bit later on, but the outline is there. The skeleton is there. So at this point, I was like, okay, I'm gonna detour to... Oh god, I hit the microphone. He deserved it, okay? I'm gonna detour to the East Dock, which was the whole reason why I was so set on having this whole Indominus Rex section in this tiny area that I had left on the East Coast, so we could do an appropriate East Dock. I used a different path color here to differentiate it from the other path colors that I've been using in this park. I could not flatten this bit properly. Cursed the game a little bit, you know, quietly, because I respect my neighbors. So, you know, it was a little bit of a struggle later on trying to get all of the decorations that I wanted here to actually work with the terrain constraints. I have strong feelings about those terrain constraints. Anyway, I'm lining little bits of the dock with these like concrete barriers, but I'm leaving most of it open because that is of course where ships would dock, and I'm using these lights as I'm sure there's going to be a boating fanatic in the comment section right now who can educate me on what those things are called. Like the things that you tie the rope to sort of secure your boat in place so it doesn't, you know, drift off in the night. Yeah, please tell me what those are called. Anyway, I'm placing a lot of containers here as well. So this is where all sorts of supplies would come in for the purpose of the Indominus Rex enclosure. I don't know, food, perhaps weaponry even. This is future Evo here. I completely changed my mind about the habitat. I completely changed my mind about the dock. The dock's gonna be way bigger, and basically this entire habitat is gonna get overhauled at the end of the video. So stay tuned. So this is where I had my idea, or rather I remembered that I wanted to add a building here as a security check / a ticket check to make sure that the people coming in here actually have VIP tickets. You know, they actually paid the extra fee to be able to risk their lives looking at a murderous hybrid. Then I struggled with this path for a long time. It's just, you know, 1 AM kind of things. I colored this with the mud, literally just so it was easier to see where the incline was, and then I covered the entire like little slope all the way around with rocks. Yes. And these rocks are kind of like an extra security precaution. You know, they prevent the Indominus Rex from being able to charge at the fence because she can't, you know, run at full speed over these jaggedy rocks. She probably can't even properly stand on them, so this would also dissuade her from trying to climb the fence. So it's really just a more decorative version of double fencing. You know, I could have done something that I did in front of the viewing galleries, which is double fencing it, or in another part where there's like a little window looking into the enclosure right there at the bottom. You just saw it zooming by. There's invisible fence in front of the wire fencing. You know, I could have done that. I could have done concrete fence and wire fence, or concrete fence and invisible fence, but I wanted to do a little bit differently. I wanted to torture myself with a whole bunch of rocks, so that's what I did. A large carnivore balancing on those rocks is not going to be able to use its full force to ram the fence. It's not going to be able to use its full agility to try and climb the fence. So yeah, I think it makes sense. I'm just like letting you in on like the mental process that goes into this sort of stuff, you know, at 1 AM. And that's really it. And other than that, I left the exhibit quite open. Actually, as I'm looking at this, I love that. I love the fence in front of the viewing gallery. I think that really sets the tone. Anyway, as I'm looking at this, I also feel like maybe I could have gone for a more dense foliage feeling, but there is a reason to this that I had at 1 AM. Again, thought processes. The spooky feeling of the Indominus Rex enclosure in the movie where you can barely see her and all of a sudden she can like appear out of the tree line. That's really cool, but for security reasons, that's a really, really bad idea. So what I did instead was leave it open so that for security reasons, personnel can pretty much always have a visual sightline on the dinosaur and see what she's up to, which gives them, you know, more reaction time to respond if she's being suspicious. I honestly don't feel like Jurassic World Evolution 2, is made for my building style that I've sort of adopted with this game. You know, there's too much detail. There's too much detail in my parks to be able to make a full square park, like a fully built up square map, to make that work at this level of detail. So I had like this super scary bug when I loaded in. There was a little clip of it at the start of the video. I loaded into this map and whenever I clicked on something, like the menu for that building, it just didn't show, so I couldn't do anything. Oh my god, like you can't even imagine the sweaty palms that I had at that moment, because I really thought, no way, did mini Nublar just broke? I was scared. But thankfully reloading the park fixed whatever little mishap that was, but oh my god, that was so scary. Like, all sorts of scenarios were already going through my head, like, oh, I'm gonna have to make a video, mini Nublar is dead. And just when we all thought we were done with this build, she completely changes her mind. Okay, so this is, I literally just did this afternoon. It is now getting close to crunch time to getting this video out on time, but like, you know, I built what I built at 1 AM. I think Evo did good. 1 AM Evo did good. She did fine. She's okay. We're gonna make excuses for her. But daytime Evo is not exactly pleased with the results. So after literally editing and recording this entire video, I realized I wanna change it up. I have a solution to make the East Dock bigger and make the habitat more exciting, and that is by extending the East Dock into the habitat. But what we're actually gonna do is sort of like a very theme park-esque approach to it, in the sense that the part of the East Dock that we made during the main part of the episode, that is real functional dock that is accessible to personnel. They can unload stuff there, you know, the whole storyline that we that 1 AM Evo came up with, right? It's all fine. And then with a double layer of invisible fencing, we are now continuing the East Dock into the habitat, but as a mock continuation of it. So that's not actually functional, that's all just an illusion, as Dr. Ellie Sadler would say. I think this just works out so much better, so that our VIP guests can look out into the enclosure from the window over there in the fencing, and they can see like this little fake dock, and it's sort of like a theatrical scenario. Yeah, so I like this much better. I hope you do as well. I did want to show you the you know, the build that 1 AM Evo did, because, you know, we've used pretty much the entire base of it. This is just like a little last minute adjustment. All right. In the previous live episode of Mini Nublar, we made this petting zoo, and it's pretty awesome, but it is fake. We made this before Update 7 was even announced, so it's made in a way that guests can't actually get in here. I do still really like it though. But what we're gonna be doing in this episode, she says, trying to build tension as if the video doesn't have a title and thumbnail, is a functioning sauropod walkthrough habitat. Update 7 making this possible is pure beautiful kismet. Thank you to DiploRex709 for the suggestion many weeks ago. I love this idea as soon as I saw it, and I love that Update 7 means we can make it a real thing. You can see that this build is gonna take up the majority of the free space that we have left, and that is because I just want to make sure that the sauropods have the space to move around, but so do the guests. So as I've done in previous episodes, I've started with a little bit of a sketch to give myself a bit of a handle, a bit of a guideline. So these arrows are going to be where people can enter the walkthrough habitat. And here we're going to have some amenities. And I wonder if you can guess what's gonna go in this big circle over here. At least that's the plan. I hope we can make that work, because I think that would be really, really awesome. So I want to have like a bit of a larger guest section here, because this is also the entry point of Mini Malta. This is gonna be like an expressway for if people don't want to walk all the way through, because, you know, we're gonna have like loopy path go all the way through here. If people don't want to do that, they'll be missing out, but, you know, they have the option to not do that. They can come through here. I'm really excited about this build. Obviously, I've had a lot of time to look forward to this. I hope you have as well. I think what I'll do is do a couple of small buildings back to back here. Okay, so food. That's pretty good. Food, drink. This is like the exit of our VIP section. And as always, we're gonna hide... Oh, hold on. Instead of using the concrete, let's actually use the wall pieces. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, do a little wall wiggle. Okay, and then probably right from here, we're gonna do maybe like this. Make it a little bit more special. Ooh, oh, so special. Look at that. I should probably not use the thickest path, so maybe this one. All right, I think for this one, oh no. Oh, I should be really careful to flatten everything. Oh, of course, it's one of the escaped velociraptors. Dang it. And this is gonna allow our guests to go through, but the dinosaurs that are gonna go in here actually won't be able to go through here. So that is perfection. I do think every entry point should have this as the entry. This is like appropriately communicating the epicness that awaits people. All right, so what's gonna be a cute building here? We'll do this. We'll do a shop. We'll have the gate, and we'll use these again. This might be a little dark, but I do think it's kind of cool to have these like sort of welcoming you over here. There, so do that, and then maybe like add in some rocks and stuff. That might be difficult. I might not have left a lot of space for that. There. The rocks are a little weird. But like with some foliage around that as well, I think that's going to be pretty pretty. This is going to be a really cool like overlook from the path. So I'll probably switch it to invisible fencing here, so we don't obstruct that in any way, shape, or form. Here, see, so guests can stand over here and look out into like this vast enclosure that's gonna have a lot of our sauropods. And you know I have my eyes set on the amphitheater. I mean, we have it. I need to use it. Maybe it's not the right choice, but it is a choice I'm gonna make. And I'm gonna apply it maybe a little bit controversially, because I'm gonna angle it away from, that part of the building. We're angling away, so we're really not gonna see much of that. It's gonna be really confusing for boats when they approach. They're gonna see like this giant archway that says San Diego, and they're like, wait, what? Weren't we near Costa Rica before? We might have drifted off course, Captain. So yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a stadium, so you can just imagine that, I don't know, there would be like an educational section where they would lure the sauropods in here, and they would, you know, do a little, educational thing, talk about sauropod things. And what's really important, if you are also wanting to build like a walkthrough habitat, is that you do put attractions in there as well. Because, you know, we still don't have guest viewing from the path or anything like that. So you do need to make sure that your guests actually come in here. Did I leave enough space for a bathroom? Wow, that's pretty good. It's almost as if I've played this game too much, you might say. Let's not though. Let's not touch on that. A round shape to the path probably wasn't the best idea, but I feel like it goes quite nicely with the amphitheater. We also need to be doing things with terrain elevation. I've already done a little bit, okay. Okay. We've already done a little bit over here. There, so this is where you can go down. This is gonna be like a beachy section. Honestly, as big as this is, like, you run out of space pretty quickly. I think I just need to make the ramp a little smaller. Now, to get the sauropods in here, probably adding water would be the way to go. Oh, you can't do that. Great. In terms of water, I think I like just the look of a big lake. I think that's what we're gonna go with. Oh god, I don't like it when you do that, water. No, 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 no. So we'll use the bottom over here. Nice big lake, and this is actually quite nice that this entry point takes you right by the water. Ooh, could we do a bridge somewhere? We should do. Yes, we should do a bridge.
Stop it. Get some help.
I can't fix you. Nobody can fix you. Get out.
Okay, so for a bridge, to really make it stand out, we should do like a different color. Sure, quite a big bridge. Now, making bridges in this game is, you know, imperfect, because you have to cheat. It's an illusion. I like doing this for my bridges. There, so it has like sort of the illusion, there's that word again, of a support. There. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. Maybe have like a bit of a roundabout over here. So we're literally gonna do just a big circle. Oh no. Oh, the clipping. I want it to be like a little natural, little weird maybe at times. And then probably down here we should also add buildings and stuff. This might be like a slightly bigger area. Slightly bigger paved area. Okay, let's try to make a circle in here. Nice, okay. So maybe make this entrance a little bit more grand. Grander, I tell you. Okay, so this isn't really working because right now it's not really connecting to where we need to be. Maybe mix it up a little bit. Hold on. There. We're going for like, you know, again, weird, natural. Again, you just really have to make sure that you put actual things in here because for some reason, guess, you know, they don't care all that much about walking among sauropods. No, that's not cool. They care about shops. But what we'll do with this circle is I'm gonna fill it in with path entirely. But it's gonna be another place where the sauropods won't be able to go because we're gonna line it with path and stuff so we can add a sitting opportunity. Because I feel like you wouldn't leave tables and chairs anywhere where the sauropods would be able to trample them. You already know what I want to do, and that is my beloved, my monorail. I don't think I used enough elevation differences in this habitat. So I want to sneak in a little bit. It's not going to be very much, but just a little bit. Let's actually mimic what we did by the amphitheater. So here, like this, because we did something similar over here. And like repeating design elements like this, I feel like calling it a design element is overstating it a little bit. But I think that helps in just... Why is it uneven? I think it helps tie things together. No, I know what I want to do. A hotel, but like this kind of hotel and pretend that this... Yes. This is like the sauropod feeding attraction. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And yeah, guess could come over here. Sauropods would bend down. Eat what you have to offer. Your soul, your firstborn. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can make it work over here and use this bit of elevation so that the balcony is actually at like a better height for hand feeding sauropods. It doesn't honestly really work too well because of the sloping, but I think it looks kind of cute here. Maybe I'll just have both. Wow, surprise speed build! At this point, I had already been recording / building for a little over an hour, and that's usually where I cap off the episodes because, you know, when I edit it down, that ends up being about 25 to 30 minutes, and that's the length that, you know, you want to keep your episodes at. But obviously there was still so much more to do pretty much all of the decorating, so that's why I just knew that I had to, okay, focus Evo, just get cracking on all of this decorating, and then we'll turn that into a speed build. So that's what we're doing right here. I spent another hour decorating like the interior of the habitat, and as you can see, the surrounding areas as well, you know, adding detail to the entry areas. And I didn't want to split that up into 2 separate episodes, you know. I hope that you appreciate this. If you do, give the video a like. By the way, what you see me doing here, like the green, yellow, red flags, what I had in my mind is that those are like information / instruction signs. So on the green flag, it's actually, you know, best behavior. This is how we expect you to behave when you enter this habitat. These are the do's. On the yellow flag, it would be like, you know, a little bit of a caution. Hey, if a sauropod steps onto the path, walk around, stuff like that. And then on the red flag, those would be the don'ts. Like, don't do flash photography, don't make loud noises, don't try to touch the sauropods outside of, you know, the hand feeding opportunities stations. So that's sort of what I had in my mind with those flags. In the meantime, I'm going absolutely mental with this decorating. I had to speed this footage up quite a bit because, again, it's a full hour. Within the habitat itself, I really had to refrain myself from doing a lot of decorating necessarily, and that's because obviously all of the decoration items have a hitbox that obstructs the sauropod's movement, right? And we want to make sure that they can still move around relatively freely. So normally all of that like blank unlined path would make my heart hurt, and it still does a little bit, but I can't go overboard with decorations inside the habitat for obvious reasons, because the sauropods need to be able to move around. I added a lot of the pink rocks, which really helped to sort of ground the amphitheater. So that's a tip. You know, I've been getting like comments about the amphitheater from people, and it is a really cool suggestion from people who were hoping that the rock that the amphitheater is made of would actually match whatever biome that you're placing it in. But I think that in the absence of that, placing a couple of those desert rocks, those pink rocks around it, really helps blend it more into the environment. You can see it right there, like all of those loose rocks I placed in front of it. It's a little thing, but visually I think it helps a lot to make it stand out a little less and make it, yeah, look more like it belongs there, and that the stone was also actually mined there. So that's why also that rock formation in front there is pink, getting a little bit of the tropical rock in there, and further into the habitat it's mostly tropical rock with a little bit of pink. So that's how you sort of blend the two together. I think that worked out really, really well, and is like a teeny tiny tip if you're going to use the amphitheater in your different biomes. So this is the little guest section where we're going to have seats and stuff like that, and this is the part that I did line with planters, again so that the sauropods would not be able to enter this specific circular little plaza, so people can have like their lunch here, just have a little bit of a sit, a little bit of a rest without having to, you know, worry that they're gonna have to save their overpriced sandwich from a sauropod coming over to stomp on them. I'm gonna round it off right here. I'm gonna show you a little bit of a clip at the end of what we've created, but of course for the full showcase of the entire park and this habitat as well, you are gonna have to stick around for that tour coming in about a week or two. This whole series has been so collaborative, honestly, with you guys like inputting these amazing ideas, like this idea right here from Diplo Rex, but many of the previous episodes were also inspired by feedback from you guys. So I appreciate it so much how engaged you've been with this whole series, and I'm looking forward to your requests / suggestions for the final episode. And in the meantime, this is what we created, and again, if you want to see the full tour and all of the detail and all of the magic, then consider subscribing for the tour. Guys, it is the last building episode of Mini Nublar in Jurassic World Evolution 2. For this final build, I will be creating a Dilophosaurus habitat inspired by the Dennis Nedry scene. This was suggested last week by channel name, but honestly, this comment just reminded me that people have been asking for a Dennis Nedry Dilo enclosure since the very start of the series, so I think it'll be a good thing to end on, and that's what we're doing right here. But in this awkward spot over here, I will also be making a bit of a museum, kind of like what I did with my park for my least favorite dinosaurs build. So I have my work cut out for me, and I better get started. And I'm gonna make this straight, and you'll see why. 'Cause again, sometimes I think about these things in advance. Oh, can I fit 2 next? Yes, that's gonna work beautifully. And there you go. So we have our food and honestly, no, I can't go for medium. I can't do that. We need the space. So, oh, what? Hello. Sorry, I got distracted by a dinosaur. That happens sometimes. It's a dinosaur. Stop it. Okay. You can tell that sometimes the frame rates stutter because this park is a beast. And that's why I am particularly excited about the tour. I think it's gonna be like just a really good park to experience overall. Actually, come to think of it, obviously, like for the Dilophosaurus, I think it's important that, you know, they're a bit of a spitter. So we should definitely use the viewing galleries. Now, you know that I like to pretend that our guests can actually, you know, use their eyeballs and look through, let's say, fencing like this. Because, you know, why wouldn't you be able to do that? Even though, you know, Frontier thinks differently. Sometimes I'm concerned about how Frontier experiences the world. But for the Dilophosaurus, I think it's very appropriate to use an actual viewing gallery to protect them from, you know... This is fascinating. You're watching the master work here. I think that's fine. We're gonna line it with stuff anyway. You know me. No man left behind. No path left unlined. Different, something magical with the path colors. I don't think so, which is a first for me. It's a unique experience. Is this what it feels like? Is this what it feels like to just want to fill up a whole space with one color? Wow. Wow. Interesting. But yeah, I am gonna do that. I can't. I have to do something here, right? Oh, that's not. Hold on. I don't think I've used this path at all. So let's use this path. It is your time to shine. And these will be like little, like, terraces in front of, you know, the drink shop and the restaurant. You know, you go over here and you order your burger and you drink your burger and, like, your mouth is going a bit dry because, I don't know, they were light on the dressing. And so, and then once you finally finish your burger, you go over here and you're like, can I have a water, please? Because apparently you can only drink here, and you can only eat here. That's how I imagine, like, the in-game logic. Same with, like, hotels that don't have a bathroom. So, like, in the middle of the night, you have to leave your hotel to go find a bathroom somewhere in the park. That's how I imagine it. Like, this sort of stuff, like, these connection points, I always just, like, hide a little bit with the one, the only, the king. There, the fluffy bush. It just, like, okay, it's stupid. Don't get me wrong. Like, I understand the limitations of the technique here, but just let me like do a thing. Let me do a thing, and I'll show you. Here, and if you add like these smaller bushes, they like fade out more naturally. And just like that, it's much less jarring. Like, why does the big concrete fencing stop there all of a sudden and is replaced with other type of fencing? It just helps. It creates the right illusion. People watch the live streams know that that's my favorite word to say and my favorite way to say it. Don't ask too many questions. I have no answers. I have no answers. Okay, one key thing that I obviously have to incorporate into this is an abandoned Jeep. I think this is a good corner. This is the furthest away from everything. So you get rid of the water. Grab a station. Nice in the corner. I only need one car, but I'm gonna drive them both out. I'm sure I'll find a use for the other car. The other car! Speedy, 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 speedy. Pause it. Now we're gonna do the same thing we always do. Magic. Just making magic happen, making dreams come true. There you go. Now our Jeeps can't get back. It's gonna be a nightmare to drive them through the water. I'm gonna absolutely resent that. Hold on. I will clear a path for you. Oh my god, I'm like freaking Moses splitting the sea over here. Here you go. You are the chosen one. So yeah, we're just gonna park this in the habitat. I don't think I can like trust Dilophosaurus to make quick work of that, so I don't know, I'll chuck in something big. Well, that's fine, that's fine. A couple of dents aren't gonna matter in a little bit. Beautiful, so that goes down over there. And this was gonna be like, you know, our lookout into this part of the sauropod habitat. Look at these two getting a little too comfortable. You're not even the same species. Look, love is love, but I feel like this might be stretching it a little bit, okay? We're gonna look away from that. There, sure, sure, there. I have an idea here. I have an idea with path. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go with it. I might have to test it out, but an idea is forming, and that's dangerous, honestly. I can't really work on the exhibit in the meantime, so we're gonna move over to here. I mean, it could have been worse. Well, don't just shout at me. Oh god, yep. Okay, I was just gonna say, unleash your rage. No. What the heck? Okay. Okay. Ah! Alright, we're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Kick me, kick me.
Come on, I want you to do it, I want you to do it.
Well, I mean, once more, but with feeling. Yeah, there we go. Well, it's barely doing any damage. What's going on? Look, I'm gonna leave you to it, okay? Maybe I'm just making her self-conscious. About the Mosasaurus, I feel like, I don't think it works. I don't think it works. Yes, I'm gonna delete it. I'm sorry. Yep. I think I need to do something else with it. I'm gonna go for a museum flooring here, which is obviously this. You think I would go an episode without using these? Please, it's like you don't know me at all. Oh, by the way, this helicopter thing, arrival, blah, is very much necessary to actually get like the guests to appear in our park, because our actual entry point is sort of closed off. If you can remember, you know, the the first episode from at this point 18 weeks ago, 19 actually. We skipped 1 week. Dang it! Oh, this terrain, man, this terrain, I can't deal with it. I love you so much. So why do you do this to me? It's abusive. Like it is. Why? I literally flattened it. What is this? No, seriously, what? You watched me flatten that. You watched me flatten the heck out of that. It's this thing. It's this thing. Be gone. It has to be that thing. It has to be that thing. So yeah, I think it was this thing. Now, the reason I got rid of the Mosasaurus path art, as brilliant of an artistic rendition that it was, I actually think that is going to be better suited to do something, you know, appropriate with the flooring. You know, museums always have, like, this sort of design in their floor that sort of creates moments. And I think that's what we should be going for. So, like, you know, here we're going to add this thing, and this is a thing. So we're going to highlight that with, like, the path. I'm making sense in my own head, and honestly, that's the only place where it really counts, so. Let's try something else. I just wanted to create like a really thin, darker line. There you go. That's all I wanted to do, man. Come on. That should not have been that difficult, but that's what I meant. With like museum floor design. You get it, right? Oh, for frick's sake, that took way too freaking long. Sometimes you just have an idea and you spend way too much time on it. Especially considering that, you know, I already spent time on making and then deleting a Mosasaurus path art, which, you know, rip. There, this is where we're gonna put the Alamosaurus. Where are you? There you go. Making steppy. We're getting so freaking fancy with it. So freaking fancy. Alright, now we obviously also need like the skeleton, not the skeleton, the skull. There you go, the skull. Like that. Yeah, do something cool like that. Because we can get it like right in there. Embedded like that. Make it look really different. Let's do that. There. Now it sort of like appears like it's mounted on the wall. That's kind of cool. I'm getting way too distracted by this whole museum build. This was gonna be the B plot. And the build was supposed to be focused on the Dilophosaurus. We'll get back to the Dilophosaurus shortly, okay? We'll interrupt our programming of paths and placing stuff. And we'll get back to the Dilophosaurus. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, let's actually get back to this. All right. Now, obviously, people have been like suggesting the log. However, one problem is that the log is quite big. So if I want to get the car there. See, you can barely see the car. That's clearly an issue. I wish I could, like, can I make it, like, I wish I could just make it jump up there. Jump! Jump! Jump, I tell you! Jump! 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 Well, you're jumping, but... Whee! Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Is there, like, a part of this that I can get him onto? I don't think it actually has, like, a accurate representative. Oh. No. Close, but no. I wish he would stay like that. That would be perfect, but I think as soon as I move the thing out of the way, he's gonna sag off of there. No? No freaking way! Oh, that's about as perfect as I can get it. Now there's one concern, and that's that the Dilophosaurus, when they start moving around over here, they might move it. Because they like to move it. However, like give it a bit of a backdrop and minimize the chance that our Dilos will actually bump into it. I actually think, hold on, something that I haven't been using that much. This thing right here. In water, you freaking liar. I think that's kind of cool as well. I don't think I want to be able to see the this thing from the other thing. I have the best words. Dang, that's pretty cool. I just realized I haven't talked in like the past 10 minutes. What? Anywho, I hope you've been enjoying the speed build. Whoa, a cool shot just happened. Okay, there you go. Is that my thumbnail? That might be my thumbnail. That concludes the build of Mini Nublar. Thank you so much for watching this supercut. Check out the full park tour on the channel, linked right here and in the description box, so you can experience this awesome park from the guest perspective. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, enjoy the game.